Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to ROWRAH in Cumbria. It is the fourth and penultimate round of the Kart Championship that we are bringing you all live on Karting Live TV. This afternoon, we've got heats and then a full day's programme tomorrow. And the sun is shining. The sun is shining in Cumbria, the northwest of the United Kingdom, just on the edge of the Lake District, and what a beautiful sight this is. This is a beautiful circuit, made even more beautiful when the sun shines, and it is shining on us this weekend. My name is Joe Bradley. I'm with you all weekend, and alongside me is my ever-faithful assistant, Nick Dim.
Ever faithful? I've made full Labrador status. Fantastic. Yes, Joe, I am faithful to you in every possible way.
This is a bit north for you, isn't it?
It is. It's a bit nosebleedy.
But you enjoy coming this
Well,
far.
no, I broke the journey in Lancaster.
Oh,
so,
really?
you know.
Oh, yes.
I can't do the whole 5 hours in one go.
Well, just look at that. People already enjoying the weather here at ROWRAH. We're about to go ahead with the first of our heats. The first heat out will be for the Honda Cadets. As I mentioned, the fourth and penultimate round. We've already had rounds 1 and 2 back in March. They were at Wilton Mill and Glanigores. Round 3, the last time we convened here in the Kart Championship, was at Warden Law in the northeast of England. We're then going to cross to the west coast here on the edge of the Lake District at ROWRAH. The championship will conclude at Fulbeck in the middle of July, the weekend of the 13th and 14th of July. But for now, it's all about what happens here at this beautiful track round. Now then, Nick,
yes.
Did you know that ROWRAH was the first ever track where I raced a kart? Well, it was. It was a long time ago.
Sorry?
And the track was a little bit different. We didn't have all those hairpins for a start. It was a very short track. And now with the this track's been established since 1963, almost as old as me. 1,030 metres now, this track is. And with 12 turns, we'll go through the track details. At the moment, let's have a look at the championships, actually.
Oh, you have been. Wow.
And where we stand.
In preparation.
Yeah.
I take back what I said to you at lunchtime.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yes. You know what, Nick? I'm a professional. I do this for a living.
I worked with you for Le Mans for a week. I didn't see any of that.
Yeah, the championship for Honda Cadets, which we'll talk about first because they are just lining up. We'll go through the grid for the Honda Cadet 200s in a moment. But right now, current champion Ryan White carrying the number 1. He's currently leading the championship. He's on 577 points from all of the rounds. He won round 1 and 2. That was at Wilton Mill and Glanigores. He was a 4th place, just off the podium at what is considered his home track maybe at Warden Law. Second in the championship is Ed Spain. Now, Ed has only had 1 podium, and that was at round 1. He was 4th at round 2. I'm talking about the final here. And he came 5th at Warden Law, just off the podium there. Archie Loveridge is 3rd in the championship. He's on 530 points. And then Kevin Ivanoff, who's actually on the pole position for the heats here this afternoon. But Kevin, he was the winner at Warden Law. He had a 17th place at the first round and a 7th place in the final. But remember, all of these heats are points opportunities, point scoring opportunities, which we'll go into in a moment. We have released our karts onto this very picturesque ROWRAH track, and we've got the front row looking like the 2 championship protagonists, Kevin Ivanoff and Ryan White. Kevin on the pole position with a 53.560. Only 54 thousandths of a second off that lap time was Ryan White, the number 1. He'll start alongside. Second row is Archie Loveridge and Riley Blakemore. And then we've got on the third row Ed Spain and Archie Cannon. Fourth row is Ronnie Smart and Freddie Budd. Then we've got Jack Wykes and Ella Dixon on row 5. Row 6, Daniel Barton and Jane Prakash. Row 7 is Dino Rowlands and Oliver Ratton. I've got Dino as a novice here, so that's a great lap time from Dino to get himself in 13th. 7th row of the grid is Oliver Ratton and Ollie Knox, as I mentioned. 8th row is Ollie Knox and Noah Clare. 9th row is Finley Thursfield and Jacob Letherby. And then we've got in 19th and 20th place Luke Jardine, Jerry Duffy, and then Sophie Morris. And then the 4 novice plate drivers, Harley Bradbury Stretton, James Pearson, Reggie Duffy, and Jaden Patel Scott, that had his time disqualified for reasons I'm not being made aware of. But that's the grid. It's a standing start, remember. So these Honda Cadet drivers will come to the grid, Nick, and we'll be building the tension with mounting tension to the start of this race.
It says 7 minutes. It's only a 7-minute race. I thought they were 8.
So did I.
That's an interesting change. Is it a change or is it an error?
I do not know, but I've got 7 minutes on the official time.
They've obviously dropped it down to 7.
So we've dropped it down to 7, maybe 53-second lap times. I mean, that's about right.
They're running quite a condensed program. Just so you know, we'll be starting quite early tomorrow. They've dropped the practice round and more, and actually starting at 9 o'clock. Mainly, I think, to finish as early as possible for everyone to get back from ROWRAH, which is a little bit in the corner of the country for most people.
Yeah, I just have to travel across to the east. Beautiful drive for me to go across the northeast. We have got this race about to go ahead. The drivers are lined up. They're all in order. We've got a little bit of a conversation going on with the driver at the back of the field. We're just clearing the grid now. The last of the parents, helpers, mechanics,
friends, family.
Stroke, whatever they are. The engine revs rise, and we're about to go green. And we get underway for the first time then, 4th round of the Kart Championship. And it's the Honda 200s that go into ROWRAH. And a very hard-fought chicane that starts off the lap here into the first of the hairpins. It's all about stopping and starting here, Nick, isn't it? And we've got a cart off, a couple of carts off there at the first hairpin, which is McRae's. The leader's already out of Ideals and heading down towards the Stewardesses, which is a hairpin, into a chicane.
Change for second and third there. All of us swept in with the yellow-fronted car. Well, actually, both yellow-fronted cars. Looking, they just swap positions. Interesting that little kerfuffle going round McRae's the first time has given us his break of 4. Which is the 1, the 73, the 50 and the 68. So it's Kevin Nivenov has dropped down to 3rd. So in the lead, it's Ryan White in the number 1 cart.
A great job by the marshals there at the hairpin there. They've gotten those carts sorted out and back underway. And I think everybody's fine from that. A little bit worrying scenes there, but everything's fine and the drivers are continuing. Ryan White is the leader. Archie Loveridge second. Kevin Ivanov is third. These 4 breaking away with Riley Blakemore, the 4th cart in that train. And we've seen this is quite common for Honda Cadets, Nick, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, you get this sort of ability to have 3 or 4 in the break. I think it's probably because once they get rolling, they actually are using the slipstream from everyone else, and there's a change. This is absolutely the most popular place to overtake. It's the bottom of that corner in the entire track. They just drop in there, dive up the inside, and that's a change the lead. And Archie Loveridge with the blue helmet gets ahead of Ryan White. And this is obviously not game over because next lap round, it's very likely they'll get swapped back. Well, unless, of course, that Archie can make a break.
Well, the reason that is a popular place is because of the nature of that track. It's the nature of that corner, that part of the ROWRAH track is because it's a 180-degree turn into a chicane, and you need a very, very late entry to that corner to kind of line yourself up for the chicane. However, it then compromises the inside line, and we do get place changes there. Here they go then, into the right-hander at Ideals, Nick, and we'll see whether or not Ryan White can have a go. And it looks like he's not, because he's dropped back a little bit.
Yeah, the paces with Archie Loveridge this part, he's managed to get his himself up and running earlier than the others.
He's pulled back onto his bumper, though, coming out of the Stewardesses, heading down towards the right-hander at St John's here. That's a very sweeping, fast right-hander, immediately into the braking area for Sonny, the left-hander. And then using all the curb on the exit then back towards the paddock, just underneath all of the spectators at the paddock turn there. And then off towards completing what will be lap 3. And it's Loveridge, White, Ivanov, Blakemore, Ed Spain in 5th. Then we've got Archie Cannon, Ronnie Smart, Jane Prakash, Freddie Budd, and rounding off the top 10 is Daniel Barton. Off towards the infield then. And it is still Archie Loveridge holding back those 3 carts. He seems to have a very good line through that right-hander at Iredale's, and then Ryan White pulls it back. But there, you see the late apex there to line yourself up for the chicane. That leaves the door wide open for any kind of attempt to overtake. Still these 4 controlling the race. We've got a pack of 3 carts behind them, 5th, 6th and 7th. That's Ed Spain, Archie Cannon and Ronnie Smart. But we'll stay with the leaders, because this is where the action's at for the first heat for the Honda Cadet 200s. Into ROWRAH. We renamed the chicane ROWRAH because of the upward sweep and nature of that chicane. Very fast entry already into the McRae's. The left-hander there is McRae's hairpin, named after Colin McRae, who did some karting here before he became a superstar in world rallying. And then onto the back straight, and look at that, Archie Loveridge pulling a gap to Ryan White, who's pulling a gap to the other karts behind him, which is pole position driver Kevin Ivanoff. Riley Blakemore it is, that is still hanging on to Ivanoff, and it's Ed Spain, that white kart there, coming onto the tail of Ed Spain. Ed Spain there in the green helmet, with number 72 there in the frame. And we've got no change, certainly in the top 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, as Freddie Budd comes through the 10th place kart there. That's our leaders, Archie Loveridge, Ryan White in second spot. Now Ryan White's coming back at him. They have been playing the usual Honda Cadet waiting game. As we head down towards the stewardesses, the sweeping entry to that chicane. That's the chicane there, that's the left, then the right, and then through the final part of the stewardesses and down the hill towards St John's. This left-hander here is called Sonny. And then look at Ryan White, he's gaining into paddock. Just over 90 seconds remaining. And the fastest kart on the track at the moment is that 5th place kart of Ed Spain. Another purple lap time for Ed Spain, a 53.4. That's the fastest lap of the race so far, but all action at the front there as Loveridge under pressure now from Ryan White. Heading down to the right-hand hairpin. This is Iredale's. And it's a right-hand hairpin, and Loveridge is very good through there. He's got very good pace through there and gives himself a bit of a breather as they head towards the hairpin that leads into the stewardesses. This is the stewardesses here. And then we go left again. Clip that curb there. And then heading down towards St John's. Where is Ryan White waiting for his moment? Archie Loveridge will be aware that Ryan White is with him. You can kind of hear your opponent's engine. You can hear them in just over his shoulder there. He saw him. He's aware, and it's going to be the 1 lap to go board next time by. So they're on the penultimate lap. Into McRae's. And Ryan White's got to be lining himself up now, but Archie Loveridge is one of the quickest drivers in this class. Loveridge third in the championship, came second in the final of round 3 at Warden Law. As they head down now to the stewardesses. And time beginning to run out if Ryan White's going to challenge for the first win of the afternoon, first win of the weekend. Archie Loveridge has got a flag on that one. It's got that checkered flag in his sights. It will be the 1 lap to go board that will be shown. This time by last lap says the lighted board, and the drivers will see that. Into Row Rouge and out. They need to be quick on the exit there because that leads you into the braking area for the left-hand hairpin at McRae's. As we've got Loveridge pulling out a bit of a breather. He seems to have this in hand, doesn't he? Loveridge has pulled out a little bit of a gap when he's needed to. And Ryan White looks over his shoulder. There's nobody there. Riley Blakemore dropped away. He's got Ed Spain challenging now. That might have been a change for position heading towards the stewardesses for that 3rd place just behind these two. That's in the frame at the moment. And there's a 4-card battle for 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th with Ed Spain moving up to 4th. Last time by. But this one, it'll be the checkered flag that will fly for Loveridge, who will take one from Ryan White. And then look at that battle for 3rd place. Who's that with his hand in the air? Riley Blakemore happy to hang on to that 3rd, just keeping Ed Spain and Kevin Ivanoff at bay. With Archie Cannon through in 6th. 7th is Ronnie Smart. Freddie Budd 8th. 9th was Jane Prakash. 10th was Jack Wykes. And then just outside the top 10, Oliver Ratton, Ella Dixon, Ollie Knox, Jacob Letherby, Noah Clare, Luke Jardine, Jaden Patel. Scott was 17th, 18th was Sophie Morris, and then we had Daniel Barton and Jerry Dufficy rounding off the top 20. There goes Harley Bradbury Stretton and James Pearson across the line. And then the remaining finishers Finley Thursfield and Dino Rowlands, the novice driver, who had such a good qualifying session. So that concludes our first heat of the weekend. Round 4, as I said, the penultimate round of the championship. The championship will conclude in about a month's time, middle of July, where we will head off to Fulbeck for the final round. Next up, we've got our Rotax Junior Primo Heat 1 for these karts. And the Junior Primo class is a class, entry-level junior class is how we describe it. Drivers aged between 12 and 14. They are basically the same, exactly the same as Junior Rotax that you will see out later on. The Rotax FR125 engine, the same chassis, same power, same tyres, same everything. It's just the age group. It gives the younger drivers moving up from the cadet classes into Junior Rotax a chance to compete amongst themselves, really, in the same age group, 12 to 14, before they then get in with the big girls and boys, as they say. So I'm just having a look, Nick, for the Junior Rotax Primo Championship positions, and it really has been the man to beat, Daniel Hartley. Now, Daniel was beaten at Warden Law by Bella Fairclough on the track. However, there was a technical discrepancy at the end of the race, which meant Bella lost that win.
Oh dear.
So Daniel has a 100% record, having won rounds 1, 2 and 3, which gives him a championship lead, quite a good lead, 592 points. Next in the championship is Maya Simpson on 538, and then we've got Alfie Forrester on 530, Ellis Daly on 525. Jake Anders put his kart on pole position with a 46.659, but then there's that Bella Fairclough again. She's here with her dad William, who's running her as ever, and Bella, with a great effort in qualifying, gets herself on the front row. Harris Alley and Alfie Forrester share row 2. Row 3 is Ellis Daly and Laurie McVeigh. Got championship leader Daniel Hartley and Leighton Kelly on row 4. Sharing row 5, Joseph Mills and Maya Simpson. It's Tyler Davis and Taylor Dixon on row 6. And then we've got Eddie Stewart, Thomas Butcher, Jacob Rump making his championship debut, as far as I'm aware. Might be wrong on that one, but Jacob, a driver that I know from his local track at Warden Law. Good to have Jacob along. Riley Mason-Lewis is alongside. And then we've got Sophie Caldwell, Ethan Bath, Jack Johnson, Ewan Stevenson, Zach Kane and Jensen Cook rounds off what is a 22 kart field. Very healthy grid here for the Junior Primo.
First rolling start of the day that we're covering, and they get underway, and it's a little bit of a jump there, I think, from the left-hand side, but it's going to be allowed to... Nope, it's not going to be allowed to go.
Full start flag.
Gives me a chance to say hello to Dino Rowlands Racing, who said, let's go Project 1. Christine Jones, YouTube today will be cheering on tomorrow morning, says Riley. Riley. Yes.
Do you want to do that again?
No. Christine Jones, yes. YouTube today, but will be cheering on in ROWRAH tomorrow, Riley.
So Riley will be cheered on by his fan base here at the track tomorrow.
Rather than remotely.
Yes.
Dominique Inskip Clarkson, well done, Freddie Budd. Was that the previous race, was it? I was searching a sound issue, which I saw. I'm quite pleased about that. And Dominic, it was come on, Jake Anders.
Yeah, well, he's on the pole position, so he's done all right.
Well, he's jumped
in
last
qualifying.
time, in fairness. He's a little bit jumpy.
Yeah, well, he's bound to be. He's quite anxious, really, to get away. He doesn't want to be left behind, or he doesn't want to waste that pole position.
No, no one does.
It's very close, the lap times here. So
Eddie's in this one.
Sorry?
Eddie's in this one.
Yeah, Junior Primo. Yeah.
Shouldn't have favourites, but you know he does give me 10 minutes off every couple of hours.
Yes, he does. Eddie will hopefully join us here. We are broadcasting live from the Drivers' Lounge here at ROWRAH, just on Drivers'
That's why
left.
there's squeaky chairs
At this point, yeah.
Oh, that's bad. Oh, they're going to let that one go. No, red flag. Red.
Red flag or
lights? Stop. It's red lights beneath us, but it's not red flag.
Full start flag.
No, it's not the full start flag. It's the go-around flag. It's the green with the pointy bit. But have they actually gone, have they? That's weird, because it never went green.
Yeah.
It was red.
Well, if the red light went out, Nick, then then I
But
think
we went out long after they'd gone past.
Yeah, I know. That's confused us. They look like they're racing.
They look like they're racing.
They look like they're racing, and it's Bella Fairclough who is leading the field out of the stewardesses.
Great start to the meeting, isn't it?
Not
knowing when they're racing or not.
That was a
there was somebody who was off the track. I'm surprised they let that one go.
I'm very surprised. Yes, I am too, Nick. That was a very messy start. That was messier than the first one. But I'm sure they'll incur the wrath of Dan Ashton when they need to. But we are racing, and one lap's completed. Bella Fairclough, Alfie Forrester, Jake Anders from pole down to third. Laurie McVeigh, Ellis Daly, Daniel Hartley sixth, Harris Ali, Eddie Stewart up to eighth, Joseph Mills and Tyler Davis rounding off the top 10. Everybody now trying to catch Bella Fairclough. And Bella pulling out very, very comfortable half a second at the flag there, the line I should say. And then
most of that was through the kerfuffle of the first few corners. I think a lot of people thought, hang on, I'm going underneath a red light. And then they went, oh no, oosh, and then there's a problem in the second row. The pole man wasn't in the right place.
The red light didn't go off for the front row, did it?
No.
So I'm not sure what's happening there. But here we go then. We've got a race on. Certainly the first place driver, Bella Fairclough. She's got a bit of a cushion. Alfie Forrester and Jake Anders, though, Jake Anders started on the pole. He's wanting that first place back, no doubt. Look at that, out of the ROWRAH chicane. And down towards McRae's, they're going to bottle back up, aren't they, Nick? You can just see that.
I'm not sure. I mean, the second and third are fighting, which is always good news for the person out in the lead. And they've been joined now by fourth place Laurie McVeigh. In fact, now it is a move by Anders into second. But, a wave. Is he going to tap his head? Yeah. I've been covering karting now for, 3.5 years. And I've yet to see anybody work together to catch anyone when everyone passes. It's like, no, that's never going to happen.
Well, Jake Anders was basically having a conversation on the back straight there, wasn't he? Yeah, he was basically saying, look, mate, don't attack me and try and take this position off me. If we work together, we can catch Bella Fairclough. Because you can see there, Nick, that those two having a bit of a contest for that second place has now allowed Bella Fairclough, allowed her to gather up a 1.2 second gap. Now, what Jake Anders will have to do is get his head down, and he is, because he's breaking away from Alfie Forrester already. And if Alfie's not careful, and he already has, I was about to say, he's going to have Laurie McVeigh, Daniel Hartley and Ellis Daly for company. And he has, because they are not too far away. That's Daniel Hartley down the inside, the number 63 there. Hartley down the inside at the stewardesses. Daniel is the championship leader, having won the first 3 rounds. And that's him with the blue helmet, just making his way up after what is probably an unsatisfactory qualifying for him.
Yeah, I mean, he's a way down, but he's 5 karts now, all fighting, but they are now a further 3/10 behind Bella. So whether they're tapping their helmets or not, they're not gaining on her. In the 53s and 79s, Anders is ahead of Forrester. The action is actually behind with the Hartley and McVeigh battle, and Ellis Daly's in the watching brief, but there are 6 of them, and then there's a kind of a 2.5 second gap to 7th.
Good spot, Martin, on the hill there. He's got his eye on Daniel Hartley for us because he's a man on the move. However, Bella Fairclough is the karter to beat. 46.886 gives Bella the fastest lap of the race, and she's controlling the pace from the position where she likes to be, and that's out in front, pulling a gap to 1.5 seconds. Let's see if she's extended this as they come through the paddock turn just in front of these 3 here. We'll keep an eye on Daniel Hartley closing that gap to Alfie Forrester. But the gap is stagnated a little bit. Laurie McVeigh, fastest lap from him, behind Daniel Hartley. So Hartley dragging him along. Laurie McVeigh and Ellis Daly staying on the rear bumper of Hartley. And Hartley, I've got to say, Nick, struggling to get on terms with that orange cart of Alfie Forrester.
Yeah, you got a kind of situation there where there's been another sub-break away after Fairclough. Anders has now got a little bit of breathing space, and it's almost as though we're looking for Forrester to do it as well. I think there's a change there. Did McVeigh... Daly nipped past
Ellis Daly, yeah.
So that's in the blue cart with the orange helmet. There we are. He's picked up a place. He's defending stoutly, it must be said, from that in the 16 cart. And now he rides a lot of curbs. Sweeps round. And they head up again through ROWRAH. And there's still 5 carts, isn't there? Not really making a huge amount of impression on Bella. In fact, you can tell how far she's ahead by how little she's even appearing on the edge of frame.
Well, now she's beginning to do a little bit of tyre management, maybe. She knows she's got a gap. She's still over a second in the lead, 1.3. Might as well call that 1.4 is the gap. 1.4 seconds is the gap. Oh, and there's Daniel Hartley through into third. He's made that move on Forrester. Forrester A late apex is what's required there to line yourself up for the stewardesses. However, left the door wide open for the number 63 of Daniel Hartley. Current championship leader is away ahead of Forrester now, and he will have his sight set on pole man Jake Anders, but there's quite a gap for him to pull. 1 second is the gap between second and third, and the gap to Bella Fairclough, who's leading this race, has gone out to 1.6 seconds. We are just over 1 minute remaining, and as Daniel Hartley begins to pull away from Alfie Forrester and starts catching him, let's see if we can pick up Bella for the last minute of this heat. Great stuff, Martin. That's Bella in the yellow. She's in the yellow car, just coming through the left-hander now, heading towards paddock turn. And she will probably get two more laps.
Yeah, this one and one more. 40
That's
seconds
Bella
to go.
there. Let's see how Bella drives this track, because she got away in the front, didn't she? She took advantage of that confusion, I've got to say, that ensued at the start of this race. And Bella now with that bright yellow card, easy to pick out, Bella Fairclough. And she's picked herself up after that technical disqualification. It was something to do with the rear track. Remember, we went on to wet tyres, Nick.
Oh, right,
and
yes,
it was to do with the rear track on the kart. And she's picked herself up, her and her dad, and they've come out of here and they've fired. You can clearly see fire in that girl's belly, because she's wanting this round here at ROWRAH. She wants to put herself back into contention of this championship. The last lap board flies for Bella Fairclough into that very fast chicane now. McRae's for the final time, for the first time this afternoon.
Final time for the first time. Very good. Yeah. Eddie Stewart's up to 7th, so he's the leading of the chasing pack. I mean, there is a big gap between the top 6 and then the 7th place is 3.8 seconds between those two little groups. But we have no chances. Bella in the lead. I mean, Jake Anders is second. He's managed to get himself a comfortable gap as well. I think you're absolutely right. Bit of time management for him as well. Just realised he wasn't going to get Bella. Just dropped off. What's the point? Hartley's going to go around in third. Forrester. Well, the Forrester-Dealey race is still right on as they come round and cross the line. Who will get it in the end? And it is Forrester from Dealey. McVeigh picks up 6th. Eddie in a massive battle. Just at the end, he got it by less than 100th of a second. He got by 8,000th of a second. Eddie Stewart got 7th. Then Taylor Dixon, Joseph Mills, Leighton Kelly, Harris Alley, Jacob Rump, Ethan Barth, Riley Mason-Lewis, Tyler Davis, Maya Simpson, Zach Kane, Jack Johnson, Thomas Butcher, Ewan Stevenson, Sophia Caldwell and Jensen Cook. The last two, Sophia and Jensen, did not get the trip. And that was a good junior primo opener, Joseph.
So Jacob Rump, that is a good result for Jacob, who is I'm trying to do that, Nick, and it's a photograph, not a screen.
We've all done that, don't worry.
Yeah, up to 12th there, making his debut in the Kart Championship, as far as I'm aware. Hello, Dan Ashton there, just at the bottom of the screen, waving to the whole world who is watching upon us.
We are the world.
So that's the junior primo with a very fine first heat for Bella Fairclough. She'll be delighted with that. Next out, we've got the first of the Bambinos. That's the Coma C50 Bambinos. And their first heat of the weekend will be, I'm going to say it always is, because it's a joy to watch. We were talking to Logan Hodgetts just behind us here in the ROWRAH Drivers Lounge, which is where we are broadcasting live, coming to you from the ROWRAH Drivers Lounge. And Logan was having his lunch with his dad, wasn't he? As sharing a tale with Calman Simon. Logan Hodgetts on the pole position after qualifying. A 1 minute 4.024. Let's call that a good 0.2 quicker than Jack Swan, who will line up alongside him. Calman Simon is the next driver in line on the grid. Calman starts alongside Henry Hales. Now, Henry Hales was the winner at Warden Law for round 3. Winner at round 2 at GYG, Glenny Gores, was Ollie West. And the winner of round 1 at Wilton Mill was Will Wainwright. The championship, however, is being led by Noah Wicklow. 556 points for Wicklow.
who has qualified dead last after being disqualified from qualifying.
So I don't know what sort of technicality that was about, but Noah will have... So the pleasure we're going to have is watching Noah come through this 18-cart field. Because we know how quick he is, and we'll try and keep an eye on the number 53, Lester Forbes, joining us here at ROWRAH on the camera on the grassy knoll, and we've got Martin Webster up on the top of the hill, overlooking the whole scene. Really,
he loves the whole scene.
So Logan Hodgetts, our pole position driver, he has had 2 podiums so far this season. Round 2 he finished second. Round 3, he was on the podium with a fine 3rd place. He's 3rd in the championship. Will Wainwright, he's 4th in the championship, winner at round 1. He had a 6th at round 2 and a 4th place just off the podium at round 3. And then Benjamin Shivar, another driver, down in 8th place for Benjamin here at ROWRAH. He is the Warden Law Spring Series champion. I'll be presenting Benjamin with his trophy later on today when I find him. But Benjamin 5th in the championship. He scored a 4th in the final at Wilton. He scored a 20th at Glanigors, and I can't remember quite what happened to him in the final there. And then a 5th place at the 3rd round at Warden Law. Behind Benjamin in the championship, Jesse Bailey on 497 points. Then Calman Simon. Calman, remember, is the driver with the Etten Senna replica helmet, who always gets a mention from me and continually will, as long as he's wearing that helmet.
There's a little hint.
Helmet.
If you want to get yourself mentioned on Karting Live TV, then do something Etten Senna.
Pay homage to my hero.
Etten Senna.
Yes.
Whereas don't forget, I do think he's massively overrated. Well, so that's the key thing to
this
remember.
Is not the time for that. That's for a podcast much later in the afternoon. Henry Hills is 8th, and he was the winner at Warden Law. Henry Hills starting in 4th. So we've got Logan Hodgetts, Jack Swan, row 1.
It's quite a calm dad's race, by the way. They're not really trying at all.
They're not trying at all, no. We forgot to tell... Martin and Lester.
Tomorrow we'll be on the PA, so they'll...
right, okay. We'll G it up.
We'll G it up tomorrow on the PA, absolutely, yeah.
2nd row, Calman Simon, Henry Hills. 3rd row, Hendrix Fallett and John Stevens. Jesse Bailey and Benjamin Shivar are on row 4. Row 5 is Ray Thorne, the novice, and Ollie West. And then we've got Arthur Bowes and Will Wainwright sharing row 6. Row 7 is Max Armott, Brady Atkin. Then we've got Max St. Hilaire and Santo Amico. Riley Aston Wilkins and Noah Wicklow out of position at the back and the very tail of this field. It's a standing start, by the way, Nick.
An outstanding start. Well, hopefully they get this one right then off the last one, which is a bit weird. But
we got the standing start was a doddle.
Yes.
It's the rolling starts that were.
There's already been a bit of a coming together there, by the way. Benjamin Silver just gave a little bit of a love tap to Jesse Bailey as they were going through the.
It's not a high benchmark to confuse us, Nick. In fairness,
I don't know what you're talking about. Sometimes I even sort of know what's going on.
Sometimes,
yeah, sometimes
out of context as well. You'll know what's going on by tonight when we get back to the hotel
tomorrow.
Are we at a hotel or a B&B?
Well, we always are.
I can't remember that.
Well, as you can probably imagine, it's luxurious.
Too many tracks.
It's luxurious.
Of course. Will it have towels?
I think I've managed that one.
Look at those drivers there. The number 74, that's Logan Hodgetts, our championship.
A lot of revving going on.
Protagonist there in
There's a lot
third
of people,
place in the championship.
Warming their clutches up more than they should do.
Yeah, maybe they are. Yeah, and then number 67, Jack Swan.
That's a great shot. Thanks, Lester.
It is.
Really,
it absolutely
kids,
is.
Honestly.
That is brilliant. Well done, Lester.
No,
getting
stop
that
it.
one.
Is he pumping the brake then?
We're going. Yeah,
go
red lights off, and off towards the chicane at Row Rouge. And who's that through into second spot? In the black cart, I'm not sure if that was.
Unfortunately, I looked to my left thinking I'll see something. All I've got is the big stanchions of the building.
I should have noticed that. He's got the centre helmet. That's Calman Simon.
Come straight through.
So it's the two mates. They had lunch together, and now they're leading the field round together. Logan Hodgetts and Jack Swan, who started alongside. We now have Calman Simon moving up from the second row, and he's slotted in behind Logan Hodgetts.
Yeah, he's made a great start. The other two are in correct order, Wong and Hales. They are in third and fourth. They should be in second and third according to the grid. So the man we're looking out for, of course, is Wilco. He made two positions before he'd even started the race and was up to 15th.
Was this my race of the month last month?
No.
It was, wasn't it?
No,
C50 Bambino.
2 months ago.
2 months.
And 3 months ago it was Bambinos. Bambinos. They're the ones from Yorkshire.
These are, you know what, I absolutely love to watch the C50s. They're drivers from the age of 6, Zip Kart or the Coma C50 engine, fixed sprockets, minimum weight 71 kilograms. They're on a treaded tyre made by LeConte, and they are absolutely a joy to watch. The racecraft that we see from these young drivers.
You know what? Get it from? I don't understand where they get the racecraft from.
You know what, Nick? Where we were last weekend for the Le Mans 24 Hours, where it's biggest motor race in the world. Some of those drivers in that field could take a lesson from these 6 and 7 year olds.
Well, no, there's some of the drivers in that field obviously have one thing these children don't have, which is massive wallets. Not necessarily massive talent.
Well, that is a good point as well. And they don't have massive racecraft, which is what we're seeing right now. Look at that. How many karts have we got? Well, we've certainly got 4, and then a very small gap, and then another 3, and then the rest of the field coming through.
Wicklow up to 11th, by the way.
Wicklow up to 11th. Good spot. But right now, it's all about playing this, for the first time this weekend, high-speed game of chess.
And those who are wondering how the meeting runs together, we have 2 heats today. So they've done qualifying, and that set the order for the grid for these 2 heats today, these ordinary heats. Tomorrow we have 2 super heats where the grid is reset based on what's happened on these 2 heats.
That's right. So you gather the points from the 2 heats today, which forms the grid for the super heats. We gather the points from the super heats, which forms the grid for the all-important final.
That's right, which means that whilst Wicklow has started at the back, we'll start with the back from both of these heats this afternoon. Based on his results today in these 2 heats, he will start further up.
So he can improve
on
Sunday,
and start. Then obviously based on those 2 results, he may well start further up for the main final. So it's not like, I've had a rotten qualifying, all's over. You've got plenty of chance of moving forward. Now there are points given for these heats. These heats, there's 40 points in total for the 2 heats. There's 60 points for the 2 super heats, and then a further 100 points for the final. So 200 points in total can be won at every single meeting if you have a perfect score.
So he's got a damage limitation exercise as championship leader Noah Wicklow, as we've got to move down the inside. Henry Hales down the inside of Calman Simon and up to second place. Let's have a look at that again, and their textbook move. It's a very open, it's a late apex at the paddock turn, and once again you kind of naturally leave the door open, and if you've got momentum you will carry that through. And we've got the number 57 of Henry Hales. Henry, who was the winner last time out at Warden Law, is now got the whole field behind him, it seems. Yes, he's been shoved along.
No, Wicklow, we keep mentioning him, we haven't seen him yet. He's actually in 7th. He's the man there, just at the back of frame, 53, with Wicklow in grey written on the back of his jacket. So far, I haven't called him Wilco, so perhaps I've managed to avoid the references to have it at a hardware store. He'll come back. But Wicklow now, I think, is moving up all the time. Hodgetts made a nice little break there. That half-second break is like in any other class, it's like 3 seconds, isn't it?
Yeah, and Wicklow not that far behind, and I think he's going to gain even further ground. He's got, I think that's Fallat in front of him now, the 15. Is Wicklow going to have a try down the inside of paddock? No. Now his progress is stifled because he's there. He's now at the front of the field with the quick drivers. And as I say that,
he's just got one.
He's just got that position from the number 15
so into 5th now, is he?
Into 5th place, yes. Yeah, there he is.
And
down the
4th.
Inside of McRae's. Down the inside of the number 57, is that?
Keep it, yeah. He's going to keep. No, he's not. He'll make it on the right-hander of Airedale's. That will work in his favour as he turns to the right any second now. Just drop back one, Martin, just to the.
That was Jack Swong, not Henry Hales. Jack Swong, the 67. Very hard to see that on that black plate with the white numbers. Now we've got Calman Simon.
What's happened to Hodgetts' lead? That was half a second.
Well,
gone.
I'll tell you what's happened. Calman Simon has retaken that place back from Jack Swong. He's now back up into second, and he's now on what we see, the ebb and flow of the C50 Bambinos. And Calman Simon right on the rear bumper of his good mate now, as Hodgetts leads into paddock. It'll be 5 laps completed and just over 90 seconds on the clock as they cross the line now. Wicklow into 4th place, would you believe? Right on the rear bumper of Jack Swong. Behind Wicklow in 4th, Henry Hales, Hendricks Fallat, John Stevens, Ollie West, Jess Bailey, Benjamin Chivart, rounding off the top 10. Now up to 3rd, Nick.
Yeah, Wicklow 3rd. Oh, actually, you should be able to go to the inside of Wong on this next one. So the first 2 now is very much of interest. I'm interested that Calman Simon has followed Hodgetts round for the best part of a lap and hasn't even shaped to make a move so far.
Now, these karts are lapping in 1 minute and 4 seconds, so that will mean 2 more laps after this one.
Yep, they're going to easily they get nearly 8 minutes of running.
Yeah, 2 more laps.
I think that's bad news for the top two because Wicklow's coming.
Wicklow is coming, and if they're not careful, Wicklow is going to have gone from the back of this grid all the way to the front, and he's got momentum. I'm sure he's going to make that move down the inside, and he does indeed. Calman Simon out to the left. Wicklow now on the rear bumper of the leader, Logan Hodgetts. So championship leader Wicklow, it was a damage limitation exercise, Nick, but I'm thinking he's more than maximised that, hasn't he?
Yeah, I mean, he's now going to start harassing Hodgetts. He just seems to have just more speed than any of the other lads and lasses out there. He's already nudging him along and giving him an extra couple of horsepower push. But Wicklow...
I've not seen Hodgetts look over his shoulder. Now he does a little bit of a glimpse there after his peripheral. He'll know he's got a Carter there. He'll not dream that it's Wicklow. Wicklow staying on the optimum line into the stewardesses. They come out of that late apex there and then down the hill towards St John's through the left-hander. Very fast corner here. Be flat out on a Bambino. And then the left-hander there just have to keep the momentum up. This is where Wicklow will make the move down the inside into paddock. Like and a move for first.
Net through there. Is he trying over and under for Hodgetts?
Hodgetts is. He's coming back at him. And Hodgetts will show. No, Hodgetts doesn't show in the lead, but he's got the line into ROWRAH. And Hodgetts will lead into the final lap.
Yeah, it's 0.08 of a second over the line for Wicklow, but he wasn't actually leading as they went up ROWRAH, but now he's going to be leading again. And I think Hodgetts is just trying to see what he can do on the over and under. It's not worked this time. Worked last time. It's almost like he let him in the last time, looking out wide.
Look at that, though.
Eyeballing each other. Wicklow leaning in to try and get that extra 0.001 mile an hour. He's quite a tall lad, Wicklow, actually, for this age group, so he is going to present more of an aerodynamic buffer than the rest, but he's got a huge amount of speed. But now up the inside goes Hodgetts. They're going to be battling close, and that's interesting because normally we've seen the driver come up the inside, get the place. Wicklow saying, no, you are not getting it.
Wicklow kept the momentum around the outside. He didn't get phased at all with Hodgetts trying down the inside into the stewardesses. And here they are. They're not over yet. Down the inside at the left-hander at Sonny. And Hodgetts will lead towards the final turn. He'll defend the line, though, and keeps Wicklow, or does he? Side by side, out of paddock turn, and it'll be the run to the line. Who will the timing screen tell us? And it's Hodgetts by 32 thousandths of a second. And as ever, racing. Nick, here's the replay. Down the inside at Sonny, textbook move into the left-hander, and then he actually led towards paddock, and then, you know what, Wicklow used a tin opener there to open the gap into paddock, didn't he? So Logan Hodgetts there came back at him after Wicklow went through at the final turn. He came back at him and took the first heat win. I tell you what, though, second place for Wicklow. He should be proud of that drive all the way through from 18th or 17th on the grid as it was, to take that second place damage limitation exercise over for the first time. He's got to do it all again later on. Calman Simon finished third, Ollie West fourth, Jax Wong was next in fifth, John Stevens sixth, Hendricks Follat seventh, Henry Hales eighth, ninth was Arthur Bowers, Benjamin Shivar 10th, Will Wainwright 11th, Brady Atkin 12th, and then we had Ray Owen, Jess Bailey, Max Armit, Max Centelaire, and it was Riley Aston Wilkins who rounded off the 17-cart field.
So superb racing there from Wicklow and Hodgetts. Hodgetts, who looked to have given Wicklow a chance, was having none of it. And twice came back at him, despite obviously the perhaps I don't know, that might have been an illusion of a ground speed advantage for Wicklow, but he certainly carved the rest of the field quite easily. And the two of them had left Calman Simon behind by almost 2 seconds at the end. What's next, Joe?
Got Intermax out next, Nick. And we've got the pole position driver, ST Racing's JJ Plowman. He's on the HRS engine of Nigel Horner's engine building empire.
Is it Empire or is it just a lock-up?
No, it's quite an empire, is Nigel. Max Gilman, I think you'd call it an empire.
Does it rival the Roman Empire?
Yeah, but...
How about the Persian Empire?
Not quite as big as the Roman Empire. Okay. But he has got some international success. So.
Oh, well, no, it's right. No, fair enough then.
Anyways, JJ Plowman's using his motor. Max Gilman's alongside him on the front row. Jensen Sale and JJ Lowe are on row 2. Jensen Walker and Fraser Anderson row 3.
I must admit, you can see how one man has popularised the name of his own name, can't you? Because Jensen wasn't a name till Jensen Button. He actually that name was invented by his dad. It's actually a misspelling of. It's not the same spelling as the car.
That's not, is it? It's Jensen.
So Jenson was actually he was the only Jenson. His dad, well, his parents obviously named him that, and now we have so many Jensons around.
Yes,
Especially, obviously, it's more likely to happen in a karting environment because the people are more interested in motor racing and have their child.
You could say the same about the girl's name, Bella.
Yes, that came from Twilight.
Yeah, was it Isabella or Annabella?
Just from Twilight.
And didn't Bella Fairclough's dad tell us where it was from? In fact, I've probably got a message from him.
You probably have, yes.
Yeah. Do you want to do the grid? And I'll
yeah,
look
it's
up.
Quite quick. So JJ Plowman, whose engines he got again? Sorry. Max Gilman starts second. Jensen Sile starts third. JJ Lowe starts fourth. Jensen Walker is fifth. Fraser Anderson sixth. Rio Wardley is seventh. Sandrio Kemp is 8th, and Jack Moss starts 9th. There's got a bit of clear up of previous carts, which is why there's a slight delay rolling in this next race at the marvellous Cumbrian circuit, and that shot there shows you something you don't often see. It's dry, and it's sunny, and it's pleasant, and everything. It's not like ROWRAH. And we are told, and I find this very hard to believe, I'm touching all sorts of plant-based materials, no rain tomorrow either.
Yes, absolutely. And Malcolm Fell has been trying to tell us that the sun shines at ROWRAH quite often.
Really? Oh, okay, Malcolm. I'd like photograph evidence of that. I do remember. I can't remember where we were somewhere, and it was lovely. And I remember getting home and watching somebody else's karting coverage. It was absolutely awful up here.
Yes, it was.
Maybe we were.
Yes, so Bella Fairclough's name is short for Annabella.
Annabella.
And she's 12. Been karting since 2021.
But does it say who she's named after?
She's also a purple belt at karate, so I'll be careful what you say.
Yeah, exactly. From now on, everything she does is perfect. No karate here. Brown's very, very, very particular about that.
Championship's been led by Max Gilman, who's starting on the front row. Max, the winner of round 2.
Is it, sorry to cut across you there, Joe, but
that's not like you, Nick.
No, I know. I would not like to apologise anyway. Is this a smaller field than normal?
Than normal, yeah. I mean, we've got... we've got certainly over 20.
I love the way it's a photograph.
I know, I keep doing that. We've certainly got over 20 that have registered for the series, but only 9 have come out.
Well, there were 18 on that heat, at least. So,
yeah,
bit of a trip, obviously, up here.
Well, Josh Cormack was the winner of round 1. Riley Murrow was the winner of round 3 at Warden Law. The winner of round 2 was Max Gilman, who was here. Josh Cormack isn't here. Neither is Riley Murrow. I wonder if they've got clashes with UKC and the British.
Might be, yeah.
Next weekend.
Perfectly formed grid here for the Intermax 950. Of course, one of the less populated classes anyway, isn't it? Intermax. There's less people on the ground than the other classes.
It's one of those series that...
they've let that one go.
Yeah,
okay.
JJ Plowman.
Great start by Plowman there, up through Row Rouge.
Yeah, he got his foot down when he needed to, and he leads towards McRae's, the left-hander. Gets a little bit of a nudge from the driver in second place, which is the number. That's Jensen Sale.
Yeah. So Sale, who's very conveniently in a high-vis outfit, so we can see him in his race suit. His beautifully yellow high-vis.
He's telling Max Gilman, "Let's go and catch the leader."
Stop it, children!
Let's catch the leader.
No one ever goes and catches the leader.
Come and help me overtake the leader and take the win. I always see that as that.
I was watching, I saw it. I think it was a motorcycle, quite a high-level motorcycle race where someone did the same thing. I went, "What are you people on?"
Yeah, absolutely. The 3 breaking away now from those 2 there. There's the 3 leaders. Plowman, Gilman, Sale leading across the line for the first time in the Intermax class. The Intermax 950 chassis, moved on to the 950 chassis with the narrower tyres for 2024. And a popular move from everybody at MSU Kit. And Plowman needing to get his head down now. Behind these 3, JJ Lowe and Jensen Walker having a little private battle, the pair of them. Behind them, Rio Wardley, Jack Moss, Fraser Anderson and Sandro Kemp. Ooh, and a little bit of I'm not sure if that was a nudge from Jensen Seal, but he's fallen foul of that, and it's Max Gilman.
That was really odd, wasn't it?
Yeah, very.
It's almost like I think what happened was
kind of tripped over him, didn't he?
Yeah, I think you had that. Oh, well, that was definitely tripped over there because he tripped that up and over.
And that's Jack Moss. That's Jack Moss having someone try down the inside. We lost that replay there very quickly. The three leaders beginning to pull out a bit of a cushion between one another, as we have got that what was a 3-card battle for the overall lead of Intermax has now become a 4-card battle as JJ Lowe joins in the party. Still being led by another JJ Plowman on the yellow and blue ST Racing liveried cart. Max Gilman now in second, and the number 140 Jensen Seal still pointing at people.
Jensen appears to be trying to order a cavalry charge in the 1812.
Yes.
Come on, boys, let's go! Everyone after him.
Yeah, he is. He's trying to get somebody to work with him.
Well, we're not quite sure how that works really, because what are they going to do? Shove him along slightly?
You use the brakes a lot at ROWRAH. You use the brakes heavy here, turn into the paddock turn, across the line. You are on the brakes through the right-hand bit, heavy braking to make that bit there, the left-hander. And then out of there, heavy braking towards the first of the hairpins, heavy braking here into the left-hander. You then flat out, get the throttle in, and then heavy braking again for the right-hander, which is called ideals. And then onto the back straight, which is the longest straight here at ROWRAH. And then heavy braking again, which is kind of like you're braking and turning into the stewardesses here. And then you back on the throttle, flat out through these twisty bits. And then down the hill, little bit of a... these will be nigh on flat out, I think. And then a heavy brake here. So you do use the brakes quite a lot. So it's the sort of track that will reward bravery on those brakes.
Yeah, and of course, remember, these kart brakes only on the rear, and it's a solid axle as well. So basically, you just kind of effectively throw out an anchor at the back of the cart and see what happens. You have to gather it up and with the front end to keep the thing pointing in the right direction. And obviously, what can happen, and I think what happened we saw a couple of laps ago, if you're braking at max and then have to brake 1% more, it really upsets the cart.
You're going to lock the rear end.
Up, and that's when you kind of move on and miss the apex entirely. So, Joe, in this heavy braking environment, how does that affect tyre wear, tyre pressure, warm up? Is it putting more energy through the tyres, or is going around a fast corner putting more energy through the tyres?
Through the fast corners, put more. That section there where we've just seen through the right and left, you are high speed sliding around, and there's a change for the leaders. The number 169, Max Gilman, championship leader, Max Gilman.
He looked very easy.
Yeah, he timed that from the left-hander though, Nick, and then into the braking area. That's a curving entry as you brake and turn at the same time. Gilman now on what looks like a KR Sport, or it's a Thule Motorsport. I think that's a Thule Motorsport kart.
They're coming down the back straight towards the Stewart S's.
It is Thule. Look at that on his overall.
Spread out a little bit.
So
going through the Stewart complex.
It's Thule versus ST Racing, what we've got at the moment.
Third and fourth. Can't say they're getting nearer, third and fourth. Last time round the gap was 0.6. Yeah, I think it's closer.
Well,
I think third and fourth are closer now.
That'll happen, Nick, when you've got the two at the front who've swapped positions and kind of compromised themselves. They wouldn't have had an optimised lap there. Who did have an optimised lap was JJ Lowe in fourth place. That number 148 there, 48.991, fastest lap of the race. And these two in third and fourth, coming back towards JJ Plowman.
But not if they fight each other.
Not if they fight each other, no, they'll start falling away.
So this is the point where they should be tapping into those helmets and actually doing something.
Well, that's exactly what Jensen Seal's been trying to say.
Jensen Seal is very, very animated in the cockpit. A lot of the drivers just sit there and they're like they're in an armchair. He's all over the shop. He's moving around. He's moving forward. He's leaning back. He's really using his body to perhaps dissipate some of the tension, excitement, adrenaline he feels, but also perhaps to actually get the kart to do what he wants it to do.
Yeah, I think he's using his body to help the handling there. We've got a minute and 10 seconds on the clock, so plenty of time for these two in third and fourth to catch the two leaders. In fact, as I say that, Nick, he's virtually on the rear end there of JJ Plowman.
But Plowman's dropped half a second off Gilman, so Gilman does seem to have the legs over Plowman for the rest. I mean, it's very famous last words, but he does seem to have the legs.
Plowman on a novice plate still, so it means he hasn't done his 6 races. I think it's still 6 races. And if he's not careful, he's going to drop another couple of places because Jensen Seal in the orange and white cart there, just behind the yellow and blue, he's looking very racy indeed. Meanwhile, Max Gilman's pulled out a gap as JJ Plowman now has to contend with Jensen Seal, who may be lining something up. But then on saying that, so is JJ Lowe, who's got the fastest lap this time by JJ Plowman, puts in a personal best. And JJ Lowe, the third placed kart in that picture, as down the inside has gone Seal.
But he's going to get over and under, is he?
Oh, yeah, as Plowman coming back at him. Plowman not got the line.
He's going to need to tough this one out. He's got a little bit of a lead. He could lose 2 places.
Oh, almost 3 wide coming out of that one. Plowman will keep that third place, though. I thought he was going to keep that second place for a moment there, Nick. But not quite, didn't quite have the position. They're tripping over one another through the stewardesses there. And now Plowman, he's had a bit of a wake-up call, hasn't he? Jensen Seal now through and into second. Plowman on the yellow and blue kart looking very racy. Not in a position to challenge there, though. Has to slot in behind. Across the line, into the chicane. Up the hill at ROWRAH. And then out of there. Can Plowman come back at him onto the bricks? No, he can't.
That was a very, very late decision not to, wasn't it?
Last lap board as well, Nick.
So he looked out. He's got a couple of corners to do. A little bit of a shove there. It's quite. Seal. Seal's not liking that. He got pushed. He got a little bit of a shove, which pushed him slightly offline.
Yeah, Seal's not liking that.
Over and under again. Oh, and there's some afters there, wasn't there?
Yeah, just out of our sight there. They've sorted themselves out. JJ Lowe almost being able to take advantage of something there, and we've just missed what we needed to see. Seal not happy with being helped into the corner, as the leader, Max Gilman, already coming through to take the checkered flag. Gilman crosses the line in first. Second is Jensen Seal. JJ Plowman has to settle for third. JJ Lowe is fourth. Jensen Walker fifth. Fraser Anderson sixth. And then the remaining finishers. Rio Wardley there in seventh. Jack Moss through in eighth. And Sandro Kemp in ninth. And, I mean, all right, JJ Plowman did connect to the rear bumper there, but it's not deliberate. You know, that's just hard racing, and sometimes it's kind of inadvertent when you're trying to stay on terms, trying to maximise everything into the corner. You can sometimes come together, and that's why we do have drop downs, Nick. That's the whole purpose of them. So that was Heat 1 for the Intermax class. We have now got, where are we? Junior Rotax next. Now, this is a very well subscribed class in the Kart Championship. 28 karts have made the journey to Cumbria and ROWRAH. It's always been a prominent track on the British karting scene. Now, Addison Smith is currently our championship leader, and I'm not sure Addison is actually here this weekend, Nick. No, he's not. So, championship leader deciding to sit this one out or is elsewhere. Kasper Tomilewski is second in the championship. Now, Kasper was second at round 1, first at round 2, and 7th at round 3 at Warden Law. James Kell, who is third in the championship. I'm not going to mention the points because there's nothing in it between these two. 7th at round 1 at Wilton. 7th, I should say. Second at round 2 at Gleneagles. And then he took the win at Warden Law to James Kell. Harry Hurst Grover is 4th in the championship. Ben Horner is 5th in the championship. And then we've got Charlie Very, who finished second at his home track up at Warden Law in that third round. And
Kell's qualified down in 12th, though.
Yeah, I noticed that. Yeah.
Third.
Addison Smith is here.
He's
Addison Smith is 14th, yes.
Yeah.
I didn't expect to see him down there.
So the winner more of a test for the boys at the front.
Yeah, winner of round 1, 13th at Gleneagles and 10th at Warden Law. So, shall we have a look at the grid, Nick?
Go on, then.
Yeah?
Go on.
I'll have a slurp of Evian.
Is it Evian?
It is Evian.
Oh, you're so posh. You haven't just refilled it tap, then?
No, I've refilled it with Evian. I've got one of those Bowsers that I brought from France.
You've got a Bowser of Evian?
Yeah.
God,
brought 3 back from France.
You have hot and cold running claret as well.
Lewis Sumner is our pole position driver.
And next to him is Marcel Popocool.
Where is Lewis? in the championship. He's certainly not in the top 20.
Perhaps this is he's a local lad, perhaps.
Yeah. Well, Lewis is on the pole position with a 46.163. Marcel Popperkull. Now, Marcel is 8th in the championship. He is 2nd on the grid. Kasper Tomilewski, he's currently the runner in the runner-up spot championship-wise. He's on the 2nd row with Luke Sawyers. SD Racing's Charlie Vary is alongside Jack Robinson on row 3. Riven Welsh and Riley Morgan are on row 4. Row 5 is Braith Murdoch and Leon Barlow. Then we've got on row 6 Emily Cooper, James Kell. Row 7, Callum Gosh and Addison Smith. Row 8, Gregor Reid and Andrew Dixon. And then sharing row number 9 is Harry Hurstgrove and Ewan House. Row 10 is Connor Dolan and Lewis Holt with Emily Ackerts and Archie Doherty are next. Aston Brown and Calvin Moffat are next up. Then Molly Pugh and Elliot Foster. And then rounding off the 28 cart field is Matt Scott and Aidan McDonald. So that's our 28 cart grid of junior rotax runners, Nick.
And they have not.
They've not
yet
been released.
They
have not been released.
We can wait for the release the junior carters. Can't quite see who they're trying to rescue anyway.
I can't see what the delay is.
There's no obvious cart being brought in. But obviously there's a reason for this.
So just to remind everybody that the Kart Championship is sponsored by the GSCC, the Junior Sport Saloon Car Championship, which gives people, drivers, young drivers, children in fact, a pathway into car racing. I think I've got it somewhere, the information that is. 14 years old is the youngest drivers who can take part. Everybody out there at Jacob Rumpers alongside me. Hello, my son. How are you? Is this your first time in the championship? Yes. Okay, I've got to go. Come up and see us again, yeah? Jacob Rump is a newcomer to the championship.
Is he one of your locals, is he?
He is. He's from Wardlaw, yeah. His dad looks after... His dad... no, he's with Ivor Powell's team, TPM, True Performance Motorsport.
Let's go. Jack Robinson. Is he in this one? Yes, he's 6th. Starting 6th.
Yes, he's doing very well in
Dominic
6th.
Dominic Inskip Clarkson.
Yeah. Dominic Inskip Clarkson. That's a name that rings a bell. Don't know why.
Quasimodo.
Have they messaged before?
Yes.
Oh, they have, of course. Well done, Freddie.
Excellent short-term memory. Well done.
I know. Right, let's get this lined up then. Let's get this ready to roll. We've got Addison Smith, our championship leader, who was a little bit down the grid in 13th. Kasper Tomilewski, though, he's on the 2nd row. He'll want to get ahead of Marcel Popperkull and Lewis Sumner, who is certainly not in the top 20 of the Junior Rotax Championship and the Kart Championship.
And I can't help think they're going to go round again because they haven't got the tail of the field anywhere near where they should be. Red light, nope, going round again.
We're going to go round again. No, it's not. It's a false start.
Going round again.
Yeah.
And then there's a cart that's joining from the back, smoking like a miner from the 70s.
Yes, that motor didn't start, did it?
No, and it's oiled up, and they managed to get the thing going, and now it's going to blast out all its gunk.
Changed the plug, and now they're going to get rid of all that oil and fuel residue out of that cylinder. So, a 1,030-metre track here at ROWRAH. It's been here since 1963. We've been racing here since 1963. It's a place known...
Almost like it was built for you, wasn't it?
Well known for the debut of Joe Bradley, who on the same day... We saw Le Mans 24-hour winner and former Toyota Formula 1 driver Alan McNish make his first...
Okay, do you want to rephrase any of that?
What do you mean?
Did he drive for Toyota?
Yes, he did.
Drove for Audi?
He drove for Toyota in Formula 1. Thank you very much. Toyota in Formula 1 is what I said.
Yeah, but I thought we were at Le Mans.
I know. I did say Audi.
I've told you my Alan McNish, haven't I?
Anyway, he did his. He debuted his senior event was here on the same day as me.
And he won Le Mans 3 times for Audi.
And he won Le Mans 3 times for Audi. And he had a little bit of a Formula 1 career. Anyways, we're about to go with the current protagonist for motorsport fame.
Round again.
Oh, we have got a false start again.
Anyway, so Alan McNish. In 1997, I was doing Formula 1. I was working with Alan McNish. He was being a spotter. So I was in the pit lane, and he was in the control room just spotting, telling people how F1 worked. That was his career. His career's dead. He was absolutely nadir of his career. 5 years later, I was in the pit lane and he was driving for Toyota. And I said, where did it all go wrong for you, Alan?
Absolutely.
Other thing you need to know about Alan Manish, irons his underpants.
He irons his underpants. Yes,
Shared a room with him.
Yes.
It's a practice Jackie Stewart thing.
Yeah. Is it really?
Yeah, about being smart, in and out and everything. There we are.
Do you not iron yours?
God, no.
Neither do I.
No one does. That's very weird. Well, he does, obviously. But
Right, Lewis Sumner there is the kart on the outside, and he is in the black and white liveried kart. I think that might be an X kart. We'll see when he sees overalls. Alongside him, Marcel Poppercull.
They need to get their act together, these guys. They've blown 2 starts already.
Yeah, I mean, they're nicely formed, aren't they, coming through that final turn?
Now, but I think
it's about Dan Ashton does not like them accelerating too early.
Got it this time.
Yeah, we're into ROWRAH for the first time.
Oh,
that looks very crowded, doesn't it? That looks like a very crowded. It's more chaotic from where we are. It's a lot less chaotic when you're in amongst that lot, because you've only got a kart in front of you, alongside and behind you.
Yeah, but you basically look after your nose, and everyone else is worried about where else you are, don't they?
Yeah, exactly. And
they've started and then they sprint now down the back straight towards the steward. There's a little bit of a break there by, I want to say it's Summer, but they all start with a number 2. But I do think that Summer who's got away on that one. But let's find out. As he's in the white machine, he's going to turn sharp right and then through Sunny, and it is the 238 leading from the 234. Marcel Poppercull. So they've all got 2s in front of them here as part of the junior rotax shtick. And complete lap 1 down the start finish up and through Row Rouge. Steep little right left, then hard braking into McRae's, the first this kind of double switchback, kind of the signature part really of ROWRAH, this back and forth. We've got the 112 kart. Emil Ackett has pulled off on the start finish straight, obviously with a technical issue, certainly nothing to do with where they're looking down. I think it's certainly a chain. And the top 4 have a mini break, and then they're followed by kind of a straggly pair after that.
We've got the X-kart of Lewis Sumner leading the Kato Motorsport kart of Poppercull, and his teammate Kasper Tomilewski not that far also from Kato Motorsport. ST Racing are in 4th there on the yellow and blue kart, but it's these 4 pulling a gap now after 2 laps, and it's Tomilewski currently 2nd in the championship, who is the fastest kart on the track at that lap through. He's going to be very wary, though. It's not like he's got a teammate, or I should say a competitor from another team in front of him, so he's going to be a little bit more circumspect. The KMS livery on the overalls of those drivers, and as I say, that's textbook, isn't it, Nick?
Just hop in, hop out into the Stewart complex. Now, interestingly, he seemed very, very concerned about Charlie Very behind him in the 237 there.
Yeah, he wants to be.
It's quite interesting, that. He's kind of, a little bit more concerned about that entirely.
Well, Charlie's with John Stewart's team, ST Racing, and they are very, very familiar with the vagaries of ROWRAH, and they will know this track like the back of their hand with regards to setup, tyre pressures, engine setup. And so Charlie Very, who is 6th in the championship, he was on the podium at Warden Law at round 3, and currently 4th behind the 2 KMS karts. The X-kart of Lewis Sumner, though, he's in control, isn't he? And then we've got 2 more of the KMS karts behind him. That's Luke Soys and Braith Murdoch.
It's a massive awning.
Yeah, massive awning. Yeah, massive representation here.
Which is great for them, but not great for us with 4 identically coloured karts in the top 6.
Yeah, we can keep our eyes on them.
The cuckoo in the nest is the blue and floor yellow. Another play. Oh, he was trying to get up the inside there, was Very. But he didn't quite make it. He looked behind his shoulder. Ahead of him 2 orange and white cards. Behind him 2 orange and white cards. 3 orange and white cards. Sorry, now got 5 of them in the top 7.
I just noticed there, Nick, as they turned into the chicane there, the ROWRAH chicane as we've called it, Charlie Very just throwing the lock on quite substantially just to get the kart to turn into that chicane as he puts his head down. Sumner having a very controlled race for X-kart at the front of this field. Very controlled.
I think Tomilewski slightly overbrake that time because the rear of it shifted out of line, but could just been some clever balancing by the driver. But Lewis Sumner, basically the man in white, holding back a phalanx of orange and white machines and a singleton. That 237 of Very in the bit of lightly floro. But that's the closing up. Definitely, Tomaszewski's got closer.
Another fastest lap of the race from Tomaszewski, who has just put in a 46.453, 46.4495 for Sumner. I mean, it's fractions of a second, but those fractions count because now he's on his rear bumper.
But how much of that is slipstream on this sort of track? It's not a super fast track, but how much are you going to make on a bit of slipstream?
Well, you are going to pull something on the especially on the back straight. It's very, very long. And the slipstream will help, not so much when you twist through the twisty turny bits.
Yeah,
but it's not. I mean, you haven't got a long enough straight down the inside of paddock. That's for the lead. Tomaszewski into the lead and ahead of Lewis Sumner. So it's KMS, Kart KMS now.
I think Lewis kind of needs to have a little bit more of a look about it, to be honest.
He couldn't really defend or anything. It came very, very late in the braking area.
But you kind of wonder, are these drivers watching previous races? Because he would have known where to defend at that point. Maybe did you defend with 2.5 minutes to go? I don't know.
The problem is, Nick, that it's a late apex at paddock turn. Like, it's a late apex at that point there on the track. The stewardesses is the same. It's a late apex because it's a long, sweeping entry. And what that does for us, being in the entertainment business, it makes it a little bit... You've got to leave the door open there. And if you can get alongside, you can't then close it off. So you come out of that left-hander. It's the same as this one. Through the chicane here.
He lost the momentum there.
Yeah, he did. He had to back out of that one. Tomaszewski showing everybody how to get through that chicane. But look at that. On the brakes into the hairpin, the gap closes back up and Tomaszewski's under pressure again.
Yeah, I mean, it's... Lewis isn't exactly making any mistakes, but you can see with the different areas where the two drivers and the two kart combinations are quick. Charlie Verey's not been able to move out of fourth place in the 6 minutes so far, so he kind of really needs to start moving forward. He has got a bit of breathing space. A second over Braith Murdoch in fifth, and then we've got Luke Sawyers and Jack Robinson behind him.
Yeah, Verey's not been able to challenge really, has he, Marcel Popoco? That was the yellow and blue kart that Leicester just followed through the left-hander, and he was not. He didn't have anything in the toolkit. Behind them, behind Verey there, is Braith Murdoch, Luke Sawyers, Jack Robinson, Riven Welch, Riley Morgan, Addison Smith, current championship leader. He's in 10th place there. And then
very, very, very defensive from Sumner there, under pressure from Popoco. Almost like he's given up the concept of winning this race. And now he's holding second.
I think he knows the Cato Motorsport kart's behind him and around him, in front of him and behind him. Maybe just have the edge here, going towards the last lap board now. It'll be one lap to go board this time by.
Just click it, aren't they? Because it's at 0 at this point.
Yeah, it's one lap to go board now. Or last lap, as it says on that board. Out of the chicane and down towards McRae's for the final time. And it was a very controlled race by Tomaszewski. He didn't make any rash moves, did he? He waited his time. He got up onto the rear end of Lewis Sumner and then made his move in a very clean and efficient way on the brakes into paddock. And Lewis Sumner there, the white helmet of the Kart driver, having to be very, very wary of the orange and white kart behind him. That's KMS's Marcel Popoco. It'll finish this way though, I think, Nick, out of the final turn and across the line to take the first heat for Junior Rotax. Tomaszewski.
Right, the line there.
What is that? What did you see?
Luke Sawyers and Braithwaite swap positions.
Braith Murdoch.
Yeah, Braith Murdoch, yeah, on the line there.
Oh, and Luke Sawyers, that was a fastest lap for him right at the end. But it was... Tomaszewski takes the win. Lewis Sumner second, Marcel Popoco, and then just taking a watching brief there in fourth was Charlie Verey. Then we had that little bit of a challenge there. Braith Murdoch finally finishing fifth, Luke Sawyers sixth, Jack Robinson was seventh, eighth is Riven Welch, ninth was Riley Morgan, and then championship leader Addison Smith through in 10th. The rest of the finishes down to 28th are there on the screen for you. James Kell, winner of the third round at Wardenlaw, finished in 12th place, for instance. So first heat for Junior Rotax, as ever. Interesting racing all afternoon. And now we've got our first heat for our Mighty Bambinos.
Mighty Bambino.
Mighty Bambinos. These
Mighty Bambino.
These are a lot quieter than everything else. They are electric powered. If you are new to this series, the Mighty Bambinos, exactly the same karts as we saw earlier in the C50 Comas. There were petrol engine C50 Comas that we saw. These are electric powered karts now that are coming out. The drivers are the same age, from 6 years to 8 years. It's the same. Exactly the same chassis. They're on the same treaded Lacon tyre. They produce the same lap time as the C50 Bambinos. However, they are slightly heavier by about 12 kilograms, these karts. They certainly get off the line quicker, don't they?
Oh, yes. They have instant acceleration thanks to the torque of an electric motor. And as we found out, they are exactly the same every week. They don't make any changes to the speed or the gearing or the electric power, depending on weather. They are always the same. They're always centrally charged up. You get a battery, you just use it for the weekend, and off you go.
We've got Ralph Martin, who starts on the pole position with a very, very quick time.
I don't believe he's 32. I believe he's a lot younger than that.
He's certainly not 32. Where are we with the championship?
Mighty Bambino.
Ralph Martin starting as he means to go on. Winner of round 1, third in round 2, second place. So he's had 3 podiums in the first 3 rounds. He leads the championship. Ollie West, who I'm looking for down the order. Where on earth is Ollie West? Surely he's here. I can't see him on the grid. So Ollie West, second in the championship. He's had 2 podiums, a second place and a second place at rounds 1 and 2. Came 10th at Warden Law. Not sure what happened to him there.
Damn.
Heath Smith is third in the championship. He had a 4th, a 6th, and he took the victory. He took the overall win in the third round at Warden Law. Henry Hales, he's 4th in the championship with a 6th, a 4th, and a 4th. And then Felix Tandy. Whose dad, Nick, can't be here because he's away at work at Watkins Glen in the Works Porsche 963 in the IMSA, the Saline 6 hours. He was at Le Mans last weekend. He's probably not one to talk about that.
No, that's one to forget about.
Very, but he's not here. He's been run by, I believe, his father-in-law and his mum.
Yeah. But apparently it's quite easy. You just charge it up, plug it in, and tell him what to do.
Well, Felix had a 3rd place at round 1 and a win at round 2, and then 22nd at Warden Law, so that's the one he wants to forget. But the grid looks like this. It'll be a standing start as well, by the way. Ralph Martin, he's on the front row with Henry Hills alongside him. Jensen James Williams and Felix Stanley share row 2. Heath Smith and Oliver Woodall are on row 3. Then we've got Junior Wright and Jack Harper, row 4. Row 5 is Alfie Hennell and Maximilian Mikalski. Freddie Dye and Arthur Rhodes are next up, and then we've got Arthur Thompson and Kai Ergensoy. Summer Upton and Nico Mohan are on row 8.
What number is that? 15 and 16?
It's 8. Yeah. Ollie Upton and Etienne Gardner are on row 9. Row 10 is Christian Doshi and Frank Pearson. Hugo Williams and Arthur Bath are next up, and then we've got 23 karts that are starting, and it's Hadley Jarvis that will round off the 23 kart field.
Not a very healthy Mighty Bambino. Now, in the background, the Mighty company have been working on a cadet version of this for electric cadet racing.
That's the next age group up, isn't it?
Up, next level of power up, next level of everything else. I mean, I think the thing is, it's very, very easy for them to replicate the power of these
the petrol equivalent.
The kids lower powered 4-stroke engines. It's in some ways getting the power and the energy density for the 2-strokes is going to be a bit more difficult, but with these 4-strokes, it's very, very easy to produce a package which doesn't increase the weight and can run the whole day on a single charge.
We've got a standing start, and already we've got the
here we go.
Number 32 of Ralph Martin. He's eager to get going.
But they're not revving.
No blipping of the throttle here,
No, because you was just doing
That's a switch.
You're just in a squeal of, whoa!
It's a switch, yeah.
You'd be gone.
So we've got an issue with what looks like a non-starter, haven't we?
He's been wheeled back in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It'd be the 12th place person. Who's that? Freddie Dye, I think.
Number 81.
Arthur Rhodes.
Arthur Rhodes, yeah. It's not like we have any oiling up issues here with the electric carts. No. So we should get things underway. We've got everything switched on. You have an on light.
If you haven't got a spark, you're not going anywhere.
Yeah, we've got the clear grid being shown. And then very shortly, we've got them underway, and we are
rolled.
starting. We're underway, Nick.
But it's not a great start for our pole man. It's Henry Hales who's leapt into the lead, first time through Row Rouge. And they come through, and it's much more orderly, isn't it, when you've got the mighty Bambinos than it is with the junior rotaxes. But they've made a pretty clean start. Everyone up and away. I think it's Tandy who's picked up third place in the yellow and blue.
The Napa livery,
colours,
isn't it?
Yeah, and then behind him, just trying to see the numbers on the fourth place. Yeah, Carter there. That is
number 18. Is it? Or 28? No, it's not 28. That's Felix Tandy.
That's 18, is it? Yeah. I
think it could be Heath Smith.
Yeah, he's been fourth. So Jensen James Willis, who scored fourth over the line when they started, so had a little bit of an issue. Right, here they go. And it's nailed together, the top two, unsurprisingly, in this class. Martin looking to get past Hales. Martin in the green.
Oh, great little battle this. And at first, we thought the first four were beginning to break away from the rest of the field. However, these two are breaking off 2 by 2. Onto Noah's Ark they go, across the line then. It'll be Henry Hales, Ralph Martin, who wants that first place back after qualifying. Felix Tandy and Heath Smith. Oliver Woodall, Jensen James, Junior Wright, Jack Harbour, Alfie Hennell, Maximilian Mikalski. That's your top 10. But we've certainly got a battle going on for the lead as Henry Hales. He wants to maximise his finishing here. Henry Hales.
Yeah, the Arthur Rhodes kart has ground to a halt again, so that's not got away very well for me. It's up the inside of the bit of road between McRae's and Airsdale. The top two move into the Stewart Complex, bottom right-hand corner. And a little bit of air for the first time between the 67 and 32, and it's all gone again. There's a little bit of air, and then it's gone.
I think it's the line that Henry Hill seems to be taking through the stewardesses. It's a wide entry, that one. And right on his bumper, look at that, Ralph Martin, right on his bumper. If Henry Hills makes...
There we go.
Yeah,
first
I was going to say, if he leaves the door open, I think Ralph Martin's going to be through it, and he has. He's gone plunging through it and will lead across the line to complete 2 laps.
One thing they are doing is they are gapping third and fourth really effectively. Despite fighting there, they're over a second faster.
It's Felix Tandy who's third, just behind these two.
Nope.
We can't. They're tripping over one another, aren't they? The Ralph Martin there, just Henry Hales couldn't help but having a little bit of a connect there. Again, nothing deliberate. It's part of racing. The old saying is rubbing's racing. We don't want too much of a little nudge, but it's inadvertent and unavoidable sometimes that you are going to rest against the rear bumper of the cart in front of you because you're so close.
Yeah,
you're so close. You don't want to leave. You don't want to leave
sometimes
anything out.
You're reacting to what you think the guy in front's going to do.
That's true.
If he doesn't actually do it, or he or she doesn't actually do it, then suddenly you then have to react to a reaction you weren't expecting, and that's where you often see people slightly overshooting corners, suddenly jinking out the way because the person in front hasn't done what they want. But these two glued together as they complete lap number 3 and come up to halfway through the race in a few seconds.
Yeah, these two are absolutely together, so close you can pitch a tent over them.
Smith's got past Tandy, but they were once again a second slower than these two, so there's a real noticeable difference in speed. The second faster in this class is ridiculous.
Look at this, Nick. 1 minute 3.845 for Ralph Martin in the lead. 1 minute 3.843 for Henry Hales in second. That's how glued together they are. Only 0.02 of a second different in the lap time, and it was a fastest lap of the race so far from that second place kart, the number 67 of Henry Hales there, and just following each other around, absolutely in the wheel tracks there of one another. Is he playing a waiting game?
I don't know, but the
6 to 8 years old.
Well, they probably are.
You know, Machiavellian sort of attitude.
It's nice to be a game of chess, apparently.
Yeah, it always is.
I think what the interesting thing is that how they have completely broken the rest of the field by a second a lap
as well.
Yeah, Tandy's dropped to 4th, but more importantly, there's now a train of 6 carts. 6 carts next, 5 carts who are battling over 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th, but they are
let's see
significantly slower, actually.
Let's see if we can pick up the carts behind these two, please, Ash. And Martin and Leicester, we'll pick them up because we've got that's a huge gap, isn't it? Look at that! Look at that!
Nearly.
5 kart battle now for 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th, and Felix Tandy dropping down to 4th behind Heath Smith. And was it a mistake or was it Heath Smith just came out that hairpin so much quicker?
Yeah, he got some drive, didn't he?
Yeah, he did indeed.
Most of these kids, obviously, it's the first time they've been to this track if they aren't locals because You know, you don't get many loops around before you have to upgrade to a different kart when you're starting at the beginning with Bambinos before you get to cadets.
I'm going to keep an eye on the leaders, a wary eye on the leaders. They're still the same. It's still Ralph Martin and Henry Hills. They are absolutely nose to tail. And as we switch to this battle for third downwards, they kind of sort of settle down as well. We've got just over a minute and a half yet, 90 seconds, as Felix Tandy through on Heath Smith, and he's took Oliver Woodall with him. And Heath Smith finds himself down the order. 3 wide was that nearly. And a change with Tandy now in third, Woodall fourth, Heath Smith through in fifth, Jensen James, Williams, Junior Wright was seventh, Alfie Hennell, Maximilian Mikalski and Jack Harper there just across the line in 10th. But Felix Tandy back up to that third place now.
Yeah, the lack of noise makes them look like gliding from left to right. They kind of almost like, you know, synchronized ballet dancers going into their moves. They're not making much noise, but they are still a second slower.
Felix just looking over his shoulder there to see where Woodall is, and Felix there carrying a lot of speed through the right-hand sweep. That brings you into the stewardesses.
Well, the lead's got broken up as well now. It's a big gap between first and second.
Huge gap, yeah.
Mountains break. So it must be a minor mistake, I think, by Henry Hell's up and then defending again and up the inside. Oh, the 40. Woodall was a huge loser out of that.
Yeah, look at that. Woodall down to the back of that train, and Felix Tandy just sat it out through the right-hander, had the line for the left, and Heath Smith's coming back and hit him across the line now into Row Rouge. Up and over the brow of the hill and through the left and then the right of the chicane. Down towards McRae's. It's going to be heavy braking, but Tandy driving a little bit defensively. And all the way around the outside has gone Heath Smith. He'll lose out momentum, but he's got it. Tandy compromised completely there with that tighter line. Had to make do. And Heath Smith has gone back up into third. But Tandy, it's not going to be long before he comes back at him. The number 28 there, the yellow bumper. I'm pretty sure his dad would have got up early across there at Watkins, going to be watching in on the cart on the grass and all sorts.
Woodall just slightly leaned on Jensen James Williams as he went past him. So Woodall's now up to fifth. The leaders are still split. This is where the action is at the moment. But can Tandy move forward? Will Tandy move back? Because he's under pressure again from the 40 cart of Woodall. That's the orange machine, and it's going to be a move up the inside, and Tandy's going to drop down. Oh, is he? He doesn't like to give it. Oh, now we're 3 wide. This could be a problem. Hung out to dry. He's going to go to seventh.
Hung out to dry massively, Felix Tandy. And he's at the back of that train now as they've gone through Heath Smith, Jensen James Williams, Oliver Woodall, Junior Wright. Felix Tandy finding himself in seventh place. He'll have to find a way of coming back at them. But it's all about this lot here.
One back there.
Yeah, he's got. It looks like he might have dragged one back.
It's good news for Heath Smith. Oh no, I bet the second and third's about to change, I think.
Yeah, we have had. It looks like a change
40,
there.
Yep. It has gone. Woodall's actually no. It's not. Sorry, that's because broken away now is Heath Smith in third. So Woodall picks up fourth then.
Well, he's got Oliver Woodall, the number 40. He's gotten ahead of the 45 of Jensen James Williams.
Because they've swapped about 4 times.
Yes, so Jensen James Williams, he's on the lime green sort of black coloured cart. The orange and white cart is Oliver Woodall.
I think our leader's just won, by the way.
Is the checkered flag out? No, sorry, the leaders. Yeah, the checkered flag flies. Whilst we concentrate on this intriguing battle for third place, Ralph Martins took the win. Henry Hill second. There's Heath Smith in third, and then Oliver Woodall fourth. Jensen James Williams fifth. Felix Tandy back up to sixth. Junior Wright seventh. Alfie Hennell, Maximilian Mikalski will be next across the line for ninth. As we look at that move once again, as the 10th place finisher Jack Harper comes through across the line, and behind them, outside of the top 10, will be Kai Ergensoy, Etienne Gardner, Nico Mohan, Ollie Upton crosses the line now, Christian Doshi, Summer Upton, Team Upton there, 14th and 16th for them, Arthur Thompson, Frank Pearson, and then the remaining finishers Arthur Bath, Hadley Jarvis, Freddie Dye, Hugo Williams and Arthur Rhodes. Again, Nick, you know, these youngsters absolutely blow my mind every time with regards to their racecraft, the way that they seem to have this natural instinct of how to race is just phenomenal to watch.
Yeah, my question is, why were the top two so much faster than the rest of the pack? because they moved away to be the leader was 10 seconds ahead of third place, and they looked consistently a second a lap quicker at the top two. I have other questions, but that's the main one you're not answering.
We have got Micromax out next. And I will have a look at their championship standings in a moment, if I've got it up now. Before we look at the grid, championship looks like this. Alfie Mayer, he had a second place at Wilton Mill. He took the win at Glanigors and a second place podium finish at Warden Law. He's leading the championship on 581 points. 553 points is Benedictus Masiokas with 2 third-place finishes in rounds 1 and 2, a fourth-place finish at Warden Law for round 3. Logan Rolfe was the winner at Wilton Mill for round 1. He's third in the championship. He had a fourth and a seventh, rounds 2 and 3. Lewis Herbertson's fourth in the championship. LBJ Stubbs is sixth, and then Lewis Kokori. LBJ Stubbs is fifth in the championship. Sixth in the championship is Lewis Kokori, and Lewis taking the third and final step of the podium. I have no idea who won Warden Law, Nick.
Yes, it's on. You need to scroll down.
No, I can't because it's a photograph. No. Yeah,
obviously a visitor or a local must have won it.
Yeah, and I'm intrigued as to find out who. So, have we got any messages?
No. Please message us, because we need to find some way for Joe to actually be able to look and see what's going else is on.
Yes.
You have to go a long way back into history.
Talk amongst yourselves.
Sounds like my
This
life.
is where you can fill, Nick.
Really?
While I get.
I told you my 2 stories.
I'm intrigued.
I've only got 2 stories.
Oh, really?
Yeah. No,
You've got more than that.
You've got
You
know
You told us you had an Amish story.
Amish stories.
Which always comes out at ROWRAH.
Well, that's because you always lead into it.
Of course.
My first ever race was at ROWRAH.
Of course.
I couldn't believe the value for money.
You're just mocking me now. That's bullying. Matt Hunter, if you're listening, you probably won't be because you've got the UKC at your track. This is Nick now bullying me.
It takes a long time to get back, doesn't it, really?
Yeah. I told you he accused me of bullying you, didn't I?
Well, it's just because you do. I feel oppressed by your very presence. Okay, here we go. With the...
Austin Orman, of course.
Austin Orman.
He came out to compete at his home track. He's off doing the UKC and the British this weekend.
Both at his home track.
At his home track, yes, at Warden Law. Now then, the grid for this one. Lewis Kokori on the front row, 52.726. Booty Hugo alongside, 52.766. Championship leader Alfie Mayer shares the second row of the grid with Logan Rolfe, so a championship protagonist massively there on the second row. Jack Mellon and Chloe McGill are on row 3. Row 4 is Carter Jackson and Ruben Sagoo. Xavier Ramsey and Freddie Blackshaw. Freddie with ST Racing at a track he knows well. He's on the 5th row. Lewis Herbertson and Jamie Walsh are on the 6th row. And then we've got Travis Giddings and Jensen Darlow, Victor Poppercool and Ronnie Faulkner. 17th is Zach Andrew. 18th is LBJ Stubbs, and Benedictus Masiokas is behind him, and they've had their times disqualified from qualifying. So LBJ Stubbs and Benedictus Masiokas starting where we're not expecting them to be. Masiokas second in the championship, LBJ Stubbs 5th in the championship, so we expect a damage limitation showing from them making their way through the field if they can.
Yeah, and they're looking to get going. Lights are red, lights are still red. Those lights aren't working properly, are they? Because the lights didn't go out again, they're still red beneath me. Does that mean they are going to go round again? No, the lights are still red. And they're racing.
Okay, we are racing. We've got somebody going very wide there, and that is the number 15 of Alfie Mayer, and Alfie, of course, in the Zip Factory kart team. Let's have a look. Down the inside and carried a lot of speed, which he then had to just let that kart breathe onto the outside curbing. It's not the Zip kart, it's a false start.
Yes. I don't know how it took him so long to work that one out.
Yes.
I've had a message from Mr. Martin Webster.
Lovely up here.
Lovely up here, but he's over there to our left.
Yes, he is. Martin's on our camera at the top of the hill. This camera here, this is Lester Forbes, who has become part of the Karting Life team for the first time this weekend. It's great to have along. Leicester's
bloody hell.
stranger to... we've got a real
shoveling along there.
Concertina effect,
14 and a 77 and a 96.
Right.
Well, it was 27, but Abby J. Stubbs... 14 got a right bout. Is it 14 or is it 12? Got a right bump up the backside.
Right, let's see if we can get this underway then, guys. We'll keep an eye on the red light. We'll keep an eye on the red light. Going out, they do go out, and I think we are actually racing this time, Nick.
Yeah, a bit of weaving in the front, a couple of rows, which isn't always particularly popular, but they had actually given the go by the time it started, up and through Row Rouge and then down towards McRae's the first time. No one pops out to make a move, so it'll be as you are. And they come back up towards the second of the hairpins, which is Airedale's.
And there's the Zip Kart driver, number 15.
Double move.
Yeah, Alfie Mayer, who has made that move up to second spot. The number 32, Logan Rolfe. That's the Synergy team, with Logan at the wheel trying to come back in him as well. 2 Synergy karts there, side by side. The number 11 of Buddy Hugo as well. But this is allowing the leader to break free a little bit.
Yeah, Hugo's down to 4th. He was scored second over the line, but there was quite a lot of movement actually in those first couple of rows. So when they crossed the line, they were still shuffling themselves out by the time they got through Row Rouge first time. But here we go. Good cadet from Mayer, from Rolfe, from Hugo, from McGill, from Mellon, from Walsh, from Segou. And a little bit of a separation, and there's a move for the lead.
Oh, massive move down the inside on the brakes, Nick.
But is it going out for it over and under?
Yeah,
no.
that was absolutely last of the late breakers. Slots in behind him now. Iredale's, he's not coming back at him. And almost connected there, the third place kart of Logan Rolfe. But that is an absolute master move there from Alfie Mayer. He left his braking to the very last, and the number 19 of Lewis Kokori had to make room for him, really. Here they come then, back towards us at the paddock. Through the right-hander there at St John's and into the left-hander. That's called Sunny Corner. And then towards this sweeping right-hander at paddock.
It's a fast loop, that corner.
It is. It's very fast. Much faster than you think, but not as fast as you might want. So you sometimes get caught out.
Well, that is true.
Yeah.
Buddy Hope into
look
third.
at that.
Buddy Hugo into third.
We had a massively compromised exit of the chicane by that leading kart there. The Alfie Mayer, number 15, getting it all wrong on the exit curbs, and it hasn't affected his race at all. He's looking over his shoulder. Yep, he's still there, mate. Lewis Kokori's still there. And Kokori just wants them to break free from everybody. They're not, though, are they? Because how many's that, Nick? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 karts.
Certainly 4 with the 2 strands
in a train.
Then another big break before the next bunch of karts turn up, which is led by Freddie Blackshaw, who's a couple of seconds back from this first little breakette. 4 of them now, as close as they can be. Oh, yes, all right, bang your helmet, Chris.
Yeah, this is, you know what, these kids are not going to take prisoners here. And you can see by the defensive drive we're seeing from the number 19 there, Lewis Kokori. He knew he had to defend into McRae's. He's going to have to defend again because down the inside into Iredale's, I've gone the 2 Synergy karts, Buddy Hugo and Logan Rolfe going through. And Kokori had nothing he could do about that.
Yeah, he just got himself off the line, didn't he?
Well, he was on the actual right line. It was just Buddy Hugo and Logan Rolfe, last of the late breakers. Rolfe said, don't leave me behind. And Rolfe has already dropped back down to 4th, and he comes back to 3rd. The number 32 of Logan Rolfe, he's having a very busy time of it. This is allowing his teammate, Buddy Hugo, these 2 Synergy drivers, having to fight for that 3rd place, has allowed Buddy Hugo free to get on terms with Alfie Mayer.
Yeah, there's some real back and forth scrapping, but as always, back and forth scrapping is most advantageous to people who aren't scrapping, and that's the first 2, Mayer and Hugo. But interestingly, already Rolfe is bridging that gap to Hugo in second. So the 2 predominantly white machines, sweeping down the back straight towards the Stewart complex.
So here we go then. Alfie Mayer now has very much Buddy Hugo in his company. It's Zip Kart versus Synergy. The bright yellow kart, that's the Zip Junior team colours. The white and blue kart, that's the Synergy team colours. And these 2 teams are at the very top of their game in UK karting. And certainly at this level of cadet karting, it's the Micromax class, the same rotax 125cc engine that we see all the way through to senior max level. And it's the same engine, just with a bit more air restriction to reduce power for these youngsters.
Make up for the fact they don't weigh anything.
What? Sorry.
Make up for the fact they don't weigh anything.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they are
narrow tyres as well.
They can. That's the point, Nick. Because they're so light. These youngsters, if they give them a full powered rotax engine, they'll be doing about 110 miles an hour down the straights. I think at the minute, 60 mile an hour to 70 mile an hour is fast enough here.
So Mayer unable to break Hugo at all. Hugo on his part unable to make a move at the moment. His loop round paddock for the 6th time.
Mayer looks like he's got control of this. I mean, Alfie Mayer, he's first round second place, second round was on the top step, and then third round is another second place. He's at the top of this class of karting is Alfie Mayer on that number 15.
Yeah, I'm not overly sure. I think Hugo may well be able to take him.
But Hugo hasn't had a very good season here in the Kart Championship. 23rd, 18th and 22nd. So Hugo really coming out of the
from nowhere, isn't it?
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Either he's changed teams, he's changed attitude, or he just likes the track.
I think he's been with Synergy the whole season. It's just he obviously likes ROWRAH, or he knows ROWRAH a lot better. We are inside the final minute, so it's 2 more laps when they cross the line. Here comes Alfie Mayer. Yes, he's still there, Alfie, but Hugo not letting you get away too much. Second place, still Logan Rolfe and Lewis Kirkcaldy. Then Chloe McGill up to 5th, Jack Mellon 6th, Benedictus Masiokas. Look at that. Benedictus Masiokas and Albie Stubbs, we've kind of neglected here, Nick, but after a technical infringement in qualifying of some sort, we don't know the details of, they have come through from the very back of this field and are up to 7th and 8th place. And there's a move for the lead.
Yeah, I kind of did think that. I thought Hugo was sitting there with a little bit extra in hand. However, he's gone a lap too early, really.
Well, yes,
unless he really thinks he's got the ground speed, because otherwise he is literally going to have to defend for an entire lap from Mayer again. One of those typical, just get the line right, pop it through the bottom of the track.
We've now that move has made the job even harder, as we've got almost side by side. The 3rd and 4th place karts have now come up onto the tail of these first two. So we've now got a 4-car battle going into the final lap. And here's a move down the inside. The Zipkart driver, Alfie Mayer, down the inside. And there's a synergy battle for 2nd and 3rd. Logan Rolfe slotting back in behind Hugo, who tries round the outside. Mayer holds his line, holds his nerve. Logan Rolfe slots onto the back of Mayer. Buddy Hugo being left out to dry. And who's that? The 19 of Kirkcaldy trying to get down the inside. That's Buddy Hugo, is it? It is indeed. Hugo actually led across the line on the timing screen there, Nick, the last time by. And here we go. It could all go horribly wrong here if we're not careful. Into Sonny, the left-hander.
We've got a nice drive out there. I think there's maybe enough for Mayer to hold on.
Oh, is it?
Can't tell. No, he's gone too wide. When he came across, I think he carried a bit too much speed. Managed to find the grip, turned in, got the win. So it's Mayer from Hugo, from Rolfe, from Kirkcaldy, from McGill.
He had to carry speed around that outside. That was the move earlier on when we had the 2 Synergy karts squabbling over that 2nd place. But Alfie Mayer had to fight for that at the very end there, and he had the outside line. He didn't back down from Buddy Hugo moving through on the inside. He kept his foot in, didn't he, around that outside line?
Yeah.
It was kind of like NASCAR.
He gave it some, and then he thought, and then he turned, I've got some grip. That's all right then. And that was a cracking little bit of driving there.
Tremendous driving from these youngsters. That is the Intermax Heat 1. We're already into our 2nd phase of heats. Heat 2 for our Honda Cadets will be coming next. And
don't forget, we are back early tomorrow, back at 9 o'clock in the morning tomorrow on Karting Live TV and, of course, the Kart Championship YouTube page. So we've got an early start for you all, which obviously we're very chuffed about, aren't we, Joe?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll be home for the football tomorrow night.
I won't.
Yeah.
This is one of the ones. This is kind of your gloating event, isn't it? Where you get home before me.
Yeah, I like when we come up north. Yeah, but next week, Karting Live TV.
We couldn't be further away, could we?
Couldn't be further away.
Yeah. We don't do Larkhall, so we couldn't be further away.
Look at the beautiful scene we've got here, though,
the vista of the Lake District.
Yeah, and don't believe anybody who says the sun doesn't shine at ROWRAH. Malcolm Fell just tapped me on the shoulder and said, remind everybody about their sun cream, will you?
I will do. John Smart says, good luck, Ronnie Smart, watching from Portugal.
John Smart, if you are on holiday in Portugal,
lucky.
we hate you.
No, we were in France last week. It's fine.
Yeah, but we weren't by a pool, were we?
We were at the pit lane in Le Mans.
It was cold and wet in France.
Right, I bet if you walk around this paddock and said, where would you rather be, the pit lane in Le Mans or a pool in Portugal, I reckon you get 90-10 saying pit lane in Le Mans.
I wouldn't be in that lane.
No, neither would I.
Don't tell anyone.
I've done it 18 times.
Yeah, exactly. So the result of Heat 1 was Archie Loveridge, Ryan White, Riley Blakemore, Ed Spain, Kevin Ivanoff, Archie Cannon, Ronnie Smart, Freddie Budd, Oliver Ratton, and the top 10 was rounded off by Ella Dixon. We have got an opportunity to remind ourselves about the grid for the Honda Cadets, which if we look back to time qualifying, it's exactly the same grid that lined up with Kevin Ivanoff on the pole position. Ivanoff, Ryan White alongside, Archie Loveridge, Riley Blakemore, Ed Spain, Archie Cannon, Ronnie Smart. They are just waiting there in the collecting area, which is undercover here at ROWRAH, which in the autumn and winter months
is that because it's normally raining?
A massive bonus. Here we are just on the edge of the Lake District up here in Cumbria. I think the nearest town is Workington.
It is, yeah.
The nearest village is Egremont. And everybody
it's not really
here,
near anywhere, to be honest.
It's not. It's there's a reason why it's so picturesque, because we really are in a rural setting.
From my remembrance, Workington Town were the first club to be not elected back into the 4th division when I started watching football. Because in the olden days, you didn't get automatic promotion from whatever the National League was.
Or you had to prove that you had a ground.
You had to be elected, yeah.
You had the funds.
And it was a real kind of old boys clubs. They obviously didn't vote for each other. They always voted for each other. And then eventually, if you were really awful for 2 or 3 years and owed people money, you finally got kicked out. And Workington were the first team I remember getting kicked out of the league. I mean, it happened to many teams before. That was the whole Atkinson Stanley milk joke, wasn't it? Even though they're now back in the league again.
Yeah, that's right. It was. Honda Cadets making their way around what will be a standing start. We've got another round of heats, points up to a maximum of 40 points for the first heat phase. Ed Spain had a very good run at the first round, maximising his points haul to 40 in the first round. So Ed Spain making his way around a little bit off the front row. Kevin Ivanoff and Ryan White are on the front row. They will pull up onto their front slot. So it's Ivanoff on the left-hand side of the screen, just behind the pole. That's the start gantry. There's the number 50 there.
No revving with these boys.
Now, Ryan White is there in his Project 1 overalls and Project 1. I think he's in the Project 1 awning, but he's certainly run by his dad, Paul. And I think it was one of our paddock shows in the earlier in the season where we had to chat to him and his dad.
Have you selected your victim for the paddock walk?
No. Well, I kind of have. I've got an idea of who I want to talk to, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. It's called preparation, Nick.
Yeah.
Something you
I know all about that.
Rather than just...
I know all about that.
Here we go then. The red lights are on as Nick and I continue bickering. The red lights are on.
We love each other very deeply.
The engine revs rise. The red lights will go out and we will start and we get underway.
Here we go.
As the carts pull off and head towards the chicane. It's Ryan White from the outside of the grid.
That's happened quite a lot, Joe.
It has.
The outside of the grid seems to be as good a bet as the inside of the grid, really.
Ryan White will hold on to that into the left-hander at McRae's. He's got Kevin Ivanoff right on his bumper, though, but that's pretty standard fare for Honda Cadets. Out of Iredale's now, down the back straight. It will be a train of carts here in Honda Cadet 200 into the braking area for that sweeping right-hand turn. And that was Archie Loveridge there, who's just decided to poke his nose up the inside of the second place, number 50. towards the final stages of the lap now.
Yeah, they're going around the corner the first time. It's White who looks quite comfortable, but then up on the inside there's two of them fighting underneath us. And the 50 cart of Ivanov really had to shut the door on Loveridge. That's put them all out of order. Oh, they're just doing the waving thing. There's this fight. No, let's not bother with that. I'd rather points myself. Now they're going to go 3 wide, and it's kind of, what are you doing? What are you doing? But stop it. Is he in a kart race? Is he conducting an orchestra?
Well, Ivanov's like a little bit puzzled as to why everybody is being so...
It's a kart race.
Well, they're being a bit aggressive for the outlap, but that's what Honda Cadet karting is all about. Is down the inside has gone the number 73, the Zip Kart driver, Archie Loveridge.
He's got himself a warning for driving standards.
Who has?
Ivanov.
Has he?
He's got a black and white flag.
Right, okay, that's being prepared to show Kevin Ivanov it's next time
on
by.
On the TV screen, or not TV
yeah,
screen, the warning gantry light board.
On the information board as the drivers.
I reckon when he sees it, he's going to be really irritated, because as far as he's concerned, he's the victim.
Well, he's just seen it there as he flashes underneath. All of this squabbling has allowed...
Oh, what happened there?
Do you want to describe it, Nick?
We came through it's not radio, but we saw it, it's fine.
No, I didn't. I was looking at the time
I'm allowed to talk to the pictures. Someone just completely lost it going through our fixed camera for some reason. Ash didn't give us a replay, I don't know why. So there we are. Well, I'm the only person who actually was watching the screen. What can I say? Which is so rare, because normally I'm the person looking at something else.
I was about to give us a little bit of a top 10 rundown as Ryan White leads.
How dare I talk to the pictures?
Archie Loveridge, Kevin Ivanov, Ed Spain, Archie Cannon, Riley Blakemore, Ronnie Smart, Jack Wykes, Freddie Budd and Ella Dixon. That's your top 10. The rest of the timing you can see on the screen there as Ryan White has now been caught by Loveridge.
Loveridge fastest lap of the race, almost half a second quicker as he caught back up with White. So now, when will Loveridge make his move?
It is, isn't it? But Ivanov's not that far away.
We're not even halfway through the race. So I mean, it's kind of you're only really much point making a move. You think you can make it stick and pull away. Otherwise, you just leave yourself open for 4 or 5 laps of constant attack.
Well, there's a reason why Ryan White's carrying the number 1. That's because he's the reigning champion. So he's not going to be surprised by anything, really, because he's been through everything, and being overtaken by Archie Loveridge there is just part of playing this game of Honda Cadet racing. And he knows that he's also got Kevin Ivanov to watch. And that's textbook at the Jackie Stewardesses.
We've seen, there's 2 places where they're finding it really easy, 3 places where they're very easy to get past, and that's where we just saw that Jackie Stewardesses, obviously the second one going into McRae's, and the third just giving a bit of help or a little bit of momentum, a little bravery is going into paddock. But there's about 2 other places where you can attack. I think there's 5 places I think we can get past in most laps if you have exactly the right line. And here, for example, not always easy to do a first pass, but sometimes that's
a little nudge from Ivanov.
Yeah, a nudge from Ivanov just moved White out of where he wanted to be. I don't think it was malicious. I think he's just one of those things where you're not quite in the right place. And he hasn't got a bumper penalty from it.
It's one of those things, Nick, where they're so closely matched. I say closely matched. Archie Loveridge just pulled a gap. He's not closely matched.
That gap
pulled away
because White got knocked off line.
Yes,
White was
true.
very close to him before, put 2/10, and he was actually gaining back up on him. But effectively, that little misunderstanding with Ivanov took them aside, and that may be enough to give that fresh air gap, which Loveridge can then use because he's not giving them such a slipstream to instantly catch back up on him. And they're having a rouse, even moving to second place.
Yeah, Ivanov up to second place.
Hold it.
This is going to play massively into the hands of Loveridge as they come back side by side now. Ivanov's got the line, I should say, into Iredale's.
72 there of Ed Spain. Could see his chance, but he's just not quite got the drive. But he may be able to actually take the inside line. But really, no, he's only realised he didn't have the momentum.
Yeah, Ryan White had a lot of drive out of Iredale's, and he was able to hang on to that. But now Ryan White's down to third. And he doesn't want to languish there too long, because all the time Archie Loveridge is disappearing. They're still concertinaing up. A little bit of a argy-bargy going on, inadvertent, nothing deliberate. As they come through, it'll be 6 laps completed by Loveridge. Ivanov second, White third, fourth Ed Spain, Archie Cannon, Riley Blakemore, Ronnie Smart, Jack Wykes, Freddie Budd, Ella Dixon. Still your top 10. And that's the battle for second there. Who not far behind is third, the number 1 there, third Ryan White, and then Ed Spain, Archie Cannon, Riley Blakemore. They just look like they're waiting to pounce, don't they? Even the number 68 there, Riley Blakemore,
you've got this
looks like he's ready to pounce.
Yeah, there's this train of cars. I'm wondering now, because this is a circuit where I think it is, if anywhere, it is quite easy to overtake. Even if you are only effectively the same speed and just using it with momentum, you can just use a slightly different line, which is hard to defend against. So I think they are thinking, if I overtake this lap, hang on, there's 2 more to go, what happens to me? Through around the pallet bend.
Well, it's in that line of karts, if you're not careful, as alongside Ryan White has tried to go Ed Spain, not quite.
Backed out of it.
Yeah, backed out towards the chicane.
Thought better of it.
But it shows he's got pace out of the corners, and Ryan will be aware of that, and he'll be driving as hard as he can because he wants to catch Kevin Ivanoff back up. And Ryan, no stranger to ROWRAH. He knows this track very well. He's carrying the number 1 because he's the reigning champion in this class here in the Kart Championship. And, with 0 time on the clock, it will be the 1 lap to go board, a last lap board, next time by for Loveridge.
Good run by Loveridge. Now he's got out to the lead. He's really put down some fast pace. Fastest lap of the entire race. And, nudge there on Ryan. That's not at all, is he?
Ryan went to have a go at Ivanoff.
Yeah, lost momentum.
And lost out. And that allowed Ed Spain to try to bridge that gap, get down the inside. And Ryan turned in and took his line, and there was an inevitable coming together.
Spain maybe looking for a pop out here. He made him go around the long way. That was good, intelligent driving by White there. He just kind of worked out that Spain had a little bit of momentum, moved out, stopped him. What the disadvantage of that, and this is why, that's great, you've managed to stop Spain. Unfortunately, you've just let Ivanov get away. So you're really fighting for third now, with second and first away.
He's had to sacrifice that challenge on Kevin Ivanoff to defend very, very, very aggressive advances from Ed Spain and Archie Cannon. And Riley Blakemore's also in there as well. If Ryan White's not careful, he could end up being the 4th kart in that train. As we get towards the final stages, through the left-hander, great view there, as we get Archie Loveridge crossing the line with fastest lap of the race as well, and then pick your driver out of that lot as they cross the line in a clump, looked like a rugby scrum. Kevin Ivanoff was second though, 1.6 seconds behind, and then we had Ryan White third, Archie Cannon fourth, Ed Spain fifth. So Archie Cannon ahead of Ed Spain there in that kerfuffle across the line. Riley Blakemore did finish 6th. 7th was Ronnie Smart. Then we have Jack Wykes, Ella Dixon 9th, Freddie Budd 10th. And then we had just outside the top 10, Daniel Barton, Oliver Ratton, Jane Prakash, Noah Clare, Finlay Thursfield, Luke Jarding, Ollie Knox, Harley Bradbury Stretton, Jaden Patel. Scott was 19th. 20th was Dino Rowlands. And then we had Jacob Letherby, Jerry Dufficy, James Pearson, Sophie Morris, and then rounding off what is a 20, is it 25 or 26? 25 is Reggie Dufficy. So that's the first sequence of heats concluded for the Honda Cadet class. We next go into our second sequence of heats, and next out is the Rotax Junior Primo. Oops, I've just lost the result there, Nick, from the first heat.
How could you?
I know, easy. Junior Primo had a very tough battle, if you remember. We haven't got a
result.
We haven't got a result there.
Bella Fairclough won it by quite a distance.
Yeah, Bella Fairclough did dominate, didn't she? I'm just going to go back to qualifying because that'll be the grid. Junior Primo qualifying will show us that Jake Anders will start once again from that pole position. That's the thing with time qualifying here in the Kart Championship. You're going to stick with that same starting position for your first 2 heats. Now, how you finish in the heats will define how you start the super heats, because you acquire points that move you then forward into the super heats tomorrow, starting at 9 a.m, all live on Karting Live TV.
All live.
All live.
None of it's recorded.
None of it's recorded. You can sit there all day and listen to us wax lyrical and enjoy the scenes coming from the Cumbrian countryside here at ROWRAH.
Cumbrian ex-quarry.
Well, it hasn't been a quarry since 1963, at least.
Doesn't look like an ex-quarry.
Well, it is an ex-quarry. What they quarry here? What sort of stone?
Granite? It's quite tough stuff.
No, I don't think it's granite. It looks, yeah. It hasn't been a quarry for 60 years. And that's why
it's been a kart track.
Yeah, it has. Yeah, for 60 years we've been karting here. And well established, run by Malcolm and Marion Fell for the Cumbrian Kart Club. And the sun not shining as brightly as it was.
No.
We've got a bit of cloud cover, haven't we?
No, we've just letting us all down, the sun, after promising so much.
I'm going to check the weather app to see if we've got. Now, there was nothing forecast, Nick.
Nothing rain-wise.
No, nothing rain-wise at all. We are just on the northwest edge, just west of Keswick. If you are familiar with the...
That's west from Keswick.
If you're familiar with the Lake District, just on the western side.
Actually got a bit chilly.
Whitehaven is actually closer than Workington, Nick.
Whitehaven? They've got a rugby league team.
Have they really?
That's the only thing I know Whitehaven for.
We've got rain coming overnight, so all this rubber will be washed off.
Really?
And then tomorrow we've got clear skies all the way through the day.
Is there any rain coming tomorrow?
Overnight rain. Nothing that's going to disturb us racing here.
I don't have any overnight rain. I've got it 16 and 17 degrees and sunny.
You know how accurate my
annoyingly
weather
accurate.
forecast
It's very
was
annoyingly accurate. It has been a couple of occasions.
Le Mans.
Yeah.
I'm using the same situation, same thing.
Kept raining, didn't it? Kept raining at Le Mans.
But I was telling you exactly when the rain was.
Those of you who don't know, we were at Le Mans last week. We haven't even mentioned it about 14 times.
Say that again?
Yeah. We were at Le Mans last week. You were at Nürburgring 2 weeks before, and that was completely destroyed by weather.
It was fog. Red flag at 11 o'clock at night.
Since the last time we've done this, you've been to the Nürburgring and Le Mans. I've done 2 different RC events, one in Sicily and one in Montpellier.
Oh, very nice.
And
it's like sort of geography top trumps or something.
Yeah, next week we're going down to Dunkerswell.
Week
after Misano.
Misano in Italy for a 12-hour race. I don't know.
Then the week after that,
Fullbeck.
And
then here.
For the O-Plate.
Yeah.
Fullbeck for this championship, TKC. Do you want to have it after Fullbeck? I'm going on a week's holiday.
So am I.
There we are. No, you're not. You're cheating on me.
No, that's not until August.
And that's how many weeks you've gone ahead?
I'm squeezing a one in, though, in between. The weekend of the 27th, 28th. We have got karts out on track.
Oh, no, you're right, because I'm doing an RC event in Italy that weekend.
Yes. And then
you're cheating on me.
Well, I think I am. I'm not going to announce that yet.
No, we're not announcing it, but you're cheating on me.
Jake Anders leading the field round. Bella Fairclough is alongside Harris Ali and Alfie Forrester on row 2. Ellis Daly and Laurie McVeigh, row 3. Daniel Hartley, championship leader, is on row 4 with Leighton Kelly. Joseph Mills and Maya Simpson are next. Then Tyler Davis and Taylor Dixon. Row 7 is Eddie Stewart and Thomas Butcher. Jacob Rump and Riley Mason Lewis are next. Sophie Caldwell and Ethan Bath are on row 9. Row 10 is Jack Johnson and Ewan Stevenson, and running off the 22 kart field is Zach Kane and Jensen Cook. Now, Bella Fairclough had a very, very good run. Annabella is Bella's full name. She's been ridden by her father, William, and been karting since 2021. So she's got a little bit of experience under her belt, and she certainly knows how to drive ROWRAH. Here they come then. Can Bella make the break again?
Nope.
As they get across the start-finish, and it's side by side.
A little curb there.
Side by side through Eau Rouge.
Got a big. If he wasn't, they're very young, but if he wasn't sore before, he'll be sore tomorrow. Again, landing that smashing on his backside and his back. But he's made a nice break, and there's been a bit of a kind of a trip over behind him. So the first two have got a nice little break between third and fourth for this first lap. Now trying to work on the away shot now. Who's in third place? And it is... Oh, no, we had a massive coming together there.
Oh, how many karts are involved there?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 karts thinking of getting moving. Not doing it at the moment. And then we go... Oh, that's a lovely shot. What a lovely little shot that was from one t'other there. And our first two are away again. The 53 kart, the white kart, or the white and grey kart of Jake Anders. They're very conveniently for us to describe all yellow machine of Bella Fairclough. And Bella hunting down Jake at the moment as they go through ROWRAH for the second time.
Yeah, the ex-kart driver, as if he had mirrors, they'd be full of Bella Fairclough, wouldn't they? Well, there's no mirrors on karts, so he's just got to look over his shoulder and see that bright yellow fairing. He looks again. She's still there, mate. She's coming.
Not going nowhere.
Yeah, she's coming. Her tyres are going to be coming on in another lap or so, and then everybody's optimised. So Jake Anders, you'll be relying upon those tyre pressures being right for you. Everybody's scrabbling for grip in the early laps, of course, because it takes a couple of laps at least for the tyres to come up to temperature, Nick. We haven't mentioned that this weekend so far.
We've been blinded by the sun.
Yeah, we have been blinded by some fantastic racing here in the Kart Championship, and we've got a fantastic race developing for the lead. Behind these two, Harris Ali, Ellis Dealey, Alfie Forrester, Daniel Hartley, Laurie McVeigh, Taylor Dixon, Joseph Mills, Leighton Kelly.
They've been broken away. Top second down. Oh, she's thinking about it again.
He's defending. Jake Anders having to defend there already in these early stages.
And
Bella Fairclough down the inside at Iredale.
There we go. That's
there it is.
Where it was. Yep.
Yeah, that's it. And he's coming back.
Not taking it. Taking it at all.
Fantastic driving from these two. So Jake Anders not happy with being overtaken at Iredale's by Bella Fairclough, but she's not done, is she? Coming back at him, right on his bumper there. Into the left-hander at Sonny. It's the run down to Paddock. He's got to leave the door wide open if he wants to optimise it, and Bella trying to get down the inside. They've had a slight coming together. There's waving arms in the air. I'm not sure what that is, side by side into the chicane. Up and over the brow, and it's Bella Fairclough who will have the lead, but is he going to come back at McRae's, Nick?
He's looking like he's having to think about it. But some very assertive driving by both drivers in that last two-thirds of a lap. But the net result is Fairclough has got back into the lead as she did in the previous heat earlier this afternoon. Now, what can Anders do? Because I think that if he lets her settle for a lap or two, she'll be able to break and get a gap. And she's already got a couple of kart lengths. But Anders obviously can try and push hard. She's got a much bigger stature in the kart than he has. Obviously, he's these 13, 14-year-olds, aren't they? So they're all at very different stages of development, different levels of vertical growth.
Bella's rear end not as stable as she'd perhaps like there through some of the corners here, having to hang on to that oversteer. She's got the lead, and I'm not going to say comfortable because it's not, because Jake Anders is right there on her rear bumper. Behind these two, Ellis Daly has a little bit of a lonely time in third. But then behind them, Daniel Hartley's gone ahead of a train of karts and is fourth. Harris Ali, Taylor Dixon, Alfie Forrester, Joseph Mills, Laurie McVeigh, Leighton Kelly. That's your top 10.
Good exit out of Erdaz has suddenly given Bella a few kart lengths of respite as the rest of the field sweeps down, including this little battle here. And that is the 76 kart of Harris Ali with the light-coloured blue and yellow side pods, and they are now running through and up and over ROWRAH again. He's just ahead of the 43 of Taylor Dixon. Dixon thinking about making a move, which will take him in the top 5. Not happy at the moment. So there you can see 3, 4, 5 and 6 with our leaders separated by half a second last time around.
So Daniel Hartley there just ahead there, the number 63. He's a privateer being run by his dad Ian. And then behind them, Arasali, not down as any, being run by a team, but that's definitely...
It's not being run by anybody.
Well, that's an ST Racing. That's an ST Racing livery. So John Stewart's team is where Harasali is. It's where you'll find him in that awning. As Daniel Hartley comes under pressure now from Arasali, who also is under pressure from Taylor Dixon.
Yeah,
Taylor Dixon
on the break now. In that Fairclough's got a second lead over Anders. Anders has got 1.5 seconds over Dealey, and Dealey's got a second over Daniel Hartley. So it's all spread out. This is the battle on the pitch on the track. Too much Euro football.
Yeah.
This is plenty of battles on the pitches. We've all seen those if you've followed football over a number of years. This is the 4.56 Hartley, Ali, and I'm not really sure any of the 43 of Dixon the entire width of his kart to get past him. So very tight up. And whenever they do this, Joe, a group of 3 becomes a group of 4, becomes a group of 5, because it's just not the fastest way of doing that part of the track.
Well, Aris Ali is coming under immense pressure and having to defend his line from Taylor Dixon, who just moved across an Alfie Forrester. And there's a slide wide by Harris Ali.
2 places.
Massively slid wide. Lost a lot of ground there, and that's allowed 2 karts through. So Harris Ali behind Taylor Dixon, Alfie Forrester now. Can Harris Ali come back? So that's the blue and red cart there of Taylor Dixon. They'll be wanting, and look at that. That's the gesticulation which we commonly see there. Alfie Forrester, the number 79, he's with BSR. And they will want to catch Daniel Hartley, who's broken free. The first three have not changed. Bella Fairclough, Jake Anders, and Ellis Daly. Jake Anders on the 53. He's the X-Kart driver in second. Still Bella Fairclough leading, though. And with a gap of 1.7, Bella showing that she's been quite dominant here this weekend.
Yeah, she's looking really, really impressive. Every time she's got in the kart, she's looked really just how long is it before I overtake everybody else, get to the lead. But obviously, as we know, she's won before and there's been issues, so she obviously hopes she's not going to have full foul of any scrutineering problems.
As we go side by side, the number 33 there of Laurie McVeigh has fallen behind. That's Harris Halley, who's moved back up the order, I think. And he's he's continuing to have massive pressure from, and we'll wait and see who that is. I can't quite see the number. That's the 78, or is it the 79 of Alfie Forrester? Here they come across the line now. It's Leighton Kelly, the 78, of course. Laurie McVeigh. Maya Simpson rounds off the top 10. This is the battle for 7th that we're watching right now. 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th and 11th place karts there. The yellow and blue kart of ST Racing leads that train as there's a change for 8th, as up into 8th place has gone Laurie McVeigh. And again, these hairpins, Nick, give us textbook overtaking, don't they?
They do.
Down the inside.
And often the move is made by a mistake that was made at the previous hairpin for the next hairpin. And as Fairclough now comes over the line to win again. There she goes. That's the win. Second place. And it ended up being really spread out, despite the fact they were battling every single moment of the race. It just people got through and suddenly, okay, let's all spread ourselves out. So Fairclough from Anders. Ellis Steele picked up 3rd. Daniel Hartley was 4th. It's Taylor Dixon in 5th. Alfie Forrester in 6th. Alice Ali was 7th. Laurie McVeigh was 8th. Leighton Kelly 9th. Maya Simpson comes in as 10th. Then it's Joseph Mills, Sophia Caldwell, Zach Kane. Then it's Thomas Butcher. Ewan Stevenson's down in 15th. The final few karts come through. And it's 16th for Taylor Davis. Riley Mason-Lewis is 17th. Jack Johnson's 18th. Eddie Stewart, didn't mention Eddie at all, disaster in 19th.
Eddie was part of that massive pile.
Right. And then you've got Ethan Barth and Jacob Rump, who didn't make the trip. Yeah,
I think Jacob was caught up in that melee as well, that pile-up.
5-kart pile-up.
Yeah, 5-kart pile-up. I think when we see these karts, the Junior Primo karts line up tomorrow morning for the first of their super heats, it will be Bella Fairclough on the pole position. That's undoubted, with 2 heat wins, maximising her points haul. 40 points for Bella at that one.
Yeah, and somebody's going to have to try and find a way of preventing her from carrying on doing that, because she's got a little bit of pace about her at this track.
We've got the Coma C50 Bambinos lined up on the collecting area there.
Out of interest, Joe, from that previous race, is that still on the timing and scoring? What was her fastest lap?
So Bella's fastest lap was the best lap of the race.
Yeah, I just wonder how it compared to the actual junior rotaxes later on.
46.628.
This is sort of really junior rotax, isn't it? It's for guys and girls who aren't in the final 2 years.
I'll make a note of that.
So 46.62. Just see how that would do within the
6.2
full junior. Have a full junior? I don't know the.
Well, the junior rotax. This is the junior primo class.
Yeah. Lots of kids having fun. I assume there's some ice cream somewhere. They look quite.
There's none here. No ice creams up in the driver's lounge.
We have got M&Ms.
Do you want M&Ms?
Do you want an M&M?
No, I don't.
Your wife bought us all the Le Mans M&Ms.
Yeah. C50 Bambinos, while Nick crunches on an M&M. Am I going to eat them whilst talking? Do you know the Heimlich manoeuvre before I do that?
I know all sorts of manoeuvres.
So heat number 1 was won by Logan Hodgetts, with Noah Wicklow second, Calman Simon third.
See, Ash can have some.
Then, Ash can. Ollie West, Jack Swong, John Stevens, Hendrix Fallat, Henry Hales, Arthur Bowers and Benjamin Shivar was the driver that...
Dropped the same one 3 times.
Do you want to switch your mic off when
you're
eating M&Ms?
I'm not eating M&Ms. I couldn't get my mouth.
Your mic was in the way. So that was the result from Heat 1. Let's have a look at the grid then for our C50 Bambinos. We are rattling through these heats this afternoon. And it will be Logan Hodgetts who will start on the pole position. Jack Swan will start alongside. Calman Simon and Henry Hales will be next. And then we've got Hendrix Fallat, John Stevens on row 3. Jess Bailey and Benjamin Shivar, row 4. Row 5 is Ray Thorne and Ollie West. Arthur Bowers and Will Wainwright are on row 6. Row 7, Max Harmett and Brady Atkin. Max Centelaire and Santo Amico are on row 8. And then row 9, Riley Aston Wilkins and Noah Wicklow. Remember, Noah with a disqualification or a disallowed time, let's call it, from qualification. From time qualifying is what I'm trying to say. He will start from the back again, and it was an absolutely outstanding drive through the field to, and I'm just going to get the result back up there, Nick, for the C50s from their first heat. C50 Coma, you're going to have to
Gas has been on.
Right, 2 minutes. So Noah Wicklow went from the back of the grid to second.
Yes.
And he was also challenging. He did lead. For a few meters. So that's going to be one to watch. What's Gaz got to say?
He's been doing the work you should have done, and he's looked at how fast the fastest lap was in the junior rotax heat.
Oh well, he can. He's got time. I've
got
46.1
apparently.
46.1. So only half a second.
Half a second.
I mean, they're the same carts.
That's Gaz Bury, by the way.
Purely
the man, the myth, the man with a mythical.
The Karting Life media guru now.
He is now, yes, and also the man who owns a Toyota Supra, which appears to have almost as few things working as your Mercedes, by the way.
Oh, I found out what it is.
What is it?
It's a leaking injector.
That means you can. It
Not as bad.
It lives.
It lives, I tell you.
How much is a leaking injector?
Mate, the minimum is 600 quid for everything. 600 quid to look at. Yeah, look at it. 600 quid, please. Yeah.
When I had my, remember I had the RS7, they had the warranty work.
Yes.
They ended up replacing all the injectors and all the other sort of work, and it was £8,500.
I know.
Luckily, not for me.
I know. We have released the C50 Bambinos, and there's the dad's race. Can we stay with that, Ash, if we can?
They're not really trying at the moment.
They're not really trying, but we're going to G them up for tomorrow.
Right. I have a couple of... When we finish racing here, Joe has to go and do the pit walk, and I have to go and sort out the link to the PA. And once we've got the PA, we are going to give supreme
now we've got a few dads breaking away there.
There's a bit of a flouncy arm there on that one.
Yes, it's the gentleman in the... Well, they're all wearing high-vis bibs.
We need. There's a lot of dark. We need somebody. Yeah,
that's Logan Hodgetts' dad.
There he goes.
That's Logan Hodgetts.
What's happening. He knows what's going to happen now.
He's
got out and away.
He's got to get to the front of the grid. Logan Hodgetts' dad there, Mr. Hodgetts, I think.
Well, obviously, it may well be. Yes.
Yeah.
Can't tell these days. What I would say is, what we do need is more colour, because everyone's wearing very, very dark things. If someone could buy like blue shoes, pink shoes,
red shoes. We need to talk to Darren and Joe, don't we? Because we talked about giving them like competitor bibs. At places where we can actually cover that. Yeah, well, is there? Yes. Well, we don't want people running in.
They fell over and broke something, you go, let's sign a disclaimer.
Yes, well, we can get them to sign disclaimers and then make a competition of it. It's great entertainment. We're in the entertainment business.
I'd like to, the civilian G. Oh, okay, that's fine, yeah. So, same grid order as last time.
Remember how great these races.
There they go. Rev. This obviously is a thing.
It's not annoying at all, Nick.
Well, they're doing it. I'm just
concentrating on it. There's obviously a reason for that. Now, whether I don't know what that is. It's not to warm the clutch up or something.
That's the brake he's on.
No, it's not. It's his right foot. Think about it, Nick. Think about it.
Sorry, I've got myself completely
You
confused
really have there.
It's been long. I've been away a lot recently.
Wow. Wow.
Hello, I don't know how to drive.
Here we go. Blipping with the throttle. I'm going to ask the Bambinos later. We're away. Right. The red lights have gone out.
You can ask them, because you're doing a pit walk.
Yeah, I know. Logan Hodgetts, that's the leader.
Start.
Who's that number
Poor
12
start
again?
From the 67 there.
Calman Simon.
Jack Wong had a big issue on the start. Simon's made 2 great starts.
He has. These two were led away in the first heat. Keep an eye at the back of the field for Noah Wicklow. He'll be coming through as well. We'll keep an eye out for him as these two head off towards Iredale's. That's the right-hand hairpin.
Simon's looking incredibly racy at the moment.
He did in Heat 1, but he never challenged. These two are good mates, remember. They had lunch on the table behind us.
They need to throw that out the window. This is the problem, you see. Modern school kids are all taught to be nice to each other. You know, when we were at school,
are you kidding me?
When we were at school, it was British Bulldog, wasn't it? You know.
Are you kidding me? The fierce competitors. I think Calman Simon is, or I should say, Logan Hodgetts. He might be easy to keep with, but he's very, very difficult to get past.
Yeah,
they come
those around.
Back towards just underneath.
So are they both northeastern lads then?
No, far from it. No, just they had lunch behind us, and they were on the same table. Logan's dad and Calman's dad. Here they come then. Underneath the driver's lounge here at ROWRAH and into the chicane for the first time. Hodgetts, Simon, Hendricks Follett up the third, Henry Hills fourth, Jax Wong fifth, John Stevens, Ollie West, Benjamin Shivar. Just behind Shivar, Wicklow.
Way off went one of the carts there. I think he's all right, but he just really lost it. The cart, I think in fifth, I think it was. May have been Wong, just disappeared into a slightly different postcode temporarily. I think he may have come back and probably only dropped a couple of positions, but he's gone like that.
So as the leader heads down towards the stewardesses, I think we need to look back towards third place, Nick. Ash. So let's just drop back from these two who are continuing to lead the field round.
Overtaking manoeuvre, aren't you?
Yeah, that's where the action's going to be, I think. Because look at that. Hendricks Follett, is it? That's leading that train round. But then look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 carts, I think, is in that train. And in that train is Noah Wicklow, who is about third from the back of them.
He was ninth last time around the line.
Follett, Wong, Hill, Stevens, West, Wicklow, Shivar. That's that train of carts there. Behind Shivar, Arthur Bowers, that's the last cart in the train. And whether or not this lot are going to follow one another round, or are they going to squabble?
I think the tight line was tried there. Didn't work. I think it was John Stevens trying the tight line. It wasn't. It was a 57. Henry Hales trying the tight line. He's been hung out to dry by it. Just his momentum's everything in this one. Now he's got a problem getting back in as Wicklow has a chance to move up the inside.
John Stevens has just moved up the order as well, and with the green helmet. I think that's John Stevens.
Wicklow found his progress blocked by other carts at that point. It's very frustrating.
He's
still moving forward.
Moving forward.
There he is. He's in the fourth of those carts. And he's seeing you look for a space, but there's somebody else trying to overtake, taking your space.
Here they come then towards Paddock Turn.
Top two still in the same order.
Underneath the driver's lounge now will go the leaders across the line. Hodgetts, Simon second, and then this gaggle of carts. Follett, Ollie West, Noah Wicklow, Jax Wong, Henry Hills. It's Ollie West with the green helmet there, who seems to be very, very racy indeed. Wicklow trying to get by Hendricks Follett, is it? Yes, it is. Follett, the number 15, dropping behind Ollie West. And Wicklow can't seem to get by Follett. He's got Jax Wong now on his left-hand side. He slots in behind. He's got a little bit of a carts gap to make up before he can challenge Follett. Ollie West driving very defensively into the stewardesses. And there's Wicklow down the inside. And he threw it down the inside there. And he takes the place from Follett for fourth place. That
he's got a long way. There's a huge gap, isn't there, out from third, which is very quickly built up. The 28 who got away there.
He's got plenty of time as well. Really, 2.5 minutes. Plenty of time to catch Ollie. You saw first on his list as they cross the line is Ollie West. Hodgetts and Simon already through. Ollie West there, the green cart. He's in third. Noah Wicklow behind him. He's the cart that has come from the back of the grid after an issue in qualifying, and they're already. But Ollie West is quick, isn't he? These two have raced all season, Ollie West and Noah Wicklow. And now Wicklow under pressure from the number 15 of Follett, who likewise under pressure from Jax Wong and Henry Hills.
Oh, he's got two wheels on the grass. And
he's trying to... he got caught up there, didn't he?
Yeah, he was just trying to nudge West. That's worked in his favour, actually, because he's not only nudged West, he's got past West.
Yeah, I think their bumpers hooked up together. That was what Wicklow was trying to do.
No, they weren't. He was just trying to get space by... They weren't hooked up. He was trying to get space by nudging, in fact, his rear wheel across. I mean, it's fair enough. I mean, I don't... He wasn't really in a unwise position, but he did end up being slightly stretched. Now, the front two have stretched themselves out. Logan Hodges has got a big lead now over Carmen Simon. We'll get the exact gap in a few seconds. He gained 1.3 seconds that time round, Joe, just on that one lap. So Hodges has broken Salmon. Now, whether we're going to see West get to Salmon or
it's Wicklow.
So he gets Salmon, or West get back to Wicklow.
Yeah, well, Ollie,
the Salmon's got a problem. I think Salmon's slowed down in some way.
He's losing ground massively, isn't he? He was way ahead of those two.
It's more what he's lost from the leader.
Yeah, he's dropped back from the leader, and also, you know what? Almost, yeah, he's got a problem, hasn't he? Look at the way that they're making ground there on Carmen Simon.
A little problem, but a little problem is all you need in these these incredibly closely matched machines. You get a tiny little problem, and you're just a sitting duck, and that's what he is at the moment. They're just going to get out.
It's going to be two more laps.
They're just getting him on the straight.
It's going to be two more laps after this. Wicklow through down the inside of Carmen Simon. And Hodgetts continues to lead. Calman Simon has dropped back now behind Wicklow and Ollie West, as Ollie West has made, I think, what happened there, Nick, as we were interrupted by somebody who didn't realise what live broadcasting means. We've got 3 wide towards Ideals. 3 wide towards Ideals. Ollie West on the inside. Wicklow's just on the outside. I think everybody was in that position there. As Calman Simons seems to have he's got a bit of power back and he's coming back at them. But look at that. How many times do you see that? We came out, we're almost 2 wide, 3 wide. Incredible racing from these C50s. Incredible racing. Ollie West still at the front of that pack though. And that's second place that they're battling for. It's going to be the 1 lap to go board. The last lap board will be shown to Logan Hodgetts and the rest of this field when they come underneath the driver's lounge here at ROWRAH. But Ollie West has got pace to keep Noah Wicklow behind him. He's defensive across the start-finish line and into ROWRAH chicane. Into the right, now the left. He's got a whole lap to hold off Wicklow, and Wicklow we know has got speed. Into the braking area, middle line for Ollie West, and Wicklow comes down the inside, and it's a drag race towards Iredales. Ollie West has got the line. Can he outbrake him? It looks like he has, but Wicklow's going to try and do the switchback. And look at the cars behind.
I know, it's huge. But interestingly, they obviously stay themselves enough for Salmon to actually stay Calman Simon to actually stay almost competitive, because he's got a slight issue, lost a bit of pace. Great driving from Ollie West this to defend that line. He used the inside line at the stewardesses. He knew that's where he was vulnerable, and he closed off that door. There's Logan Hodgetts. Hodgetts about to take the second heat of the day, and
by a country mile as well.
Absolutely, but that's because the lot behind him have been squabbling. How's this going to look? Ollie West and Noah Wicklow side by side across the line, and everybody else is about 7 wide across the line. How did it finish? Hodgetts takes a win. Ollie West second. Noah Wicklow third. Calman Simon it was who got fourth. He came back on song, didn't he? Don't know what happened there. Jacks won fifth. Hendricks Fallat. What happened to Hendricks Fallat there? He dropped a sixth there on that final lap. Henry Hill 7th. Arthur Bowers 8th. 9th was Shivart. John Stevens was 10th. And then behind them, just outside the top 10, Brady Atkin, Ray Thorne, Will Wainwright, Jess Bailey, Santo Amico, Max Harmon, Max Sendelaire. And it was Riley Aston Wilkins who rounded off the 18 cart field.
That was different. Anyway, so...
Well, the racing wasn't. The racing is exactly what we would expect.
Exactly, that's right.
Exactly what we would expect.
Gaz just wants to say Super works fine when it's parked up. Anyway, I'm off back to walking around Kew Gardens.
What's he doing with the weekend off?
Well, once he's at Kew Gardens, he does his break out and watch some karting on his phone. No, it's way too peaceful here. I need to watch some karting right away. Anyway.
Right, Nick, Intermax next.
Yes.
Intermax next. Now then, Heat 1, we saw Max Gilman take the win from Jensen Seal. And if we refresh our memory for the Intermax Championship, it's Max Gilman
who leads the championship with a fourth, a first, and a fifth from the first 3 rounds. This is, of course, the fourth of 5 rounds. The next round being in about a month's time at Fullbeck.
Once you're in, you can't get out.
I mean, this track has been, well, if you can get in, this track's been here since 1963. Fullbeck, I think, is not far behind it.
Well, Fullbeck's been there since the Second World War, but how long it's been a track, I don't know.
Traditional airfield circuit, one of the another track that I started out very early on, visiting Fullbeck, venturing from the confines of Felton in Northumberland, ROWRAH in Cumbria. And then we used to venture down to Fullbeck, all the way to Fullbeck.
Really? Did you get any further south?
Across the Three Sisters.
No. How far south did you get?
Shennington.
Shennington, that's quite south. Well
south.
done. Butler Park?
No.
Too far south.
Far too far.
Did you race at Tilbury?
No. Nearly raced at Tilbury.
I raced at Tilbury. I fell out of the car. I just hit my shoulder at Tilbury.
Did you race at the Hull Street race then?
No, but I'm sure we're going to hear this story. But I've heard that Hull's quite close to Sunderland.
Yeah, not quite. Not quite. So the grid then, what's the grid for Intermax? It's a small grid of Intermax drivers. We've got
small, perfectly formed, as they say.
Yeah, as they say. A lot of drivers choosing, for instance, the, was it Austin Allman who won the, yes it was, wasn't it? No, it wasn't.
Wasn't it? Was it?
Riley Morrow and Josh Cormack, winners of round 1 and 3. Riley Morrow won round 3 at Warden Law. Josh Cormack round 1 at Wilton Mill. Max Gilman won round 2 at Gleneagles. But Morrow and Cormack are not here. They're obviously on UKC duties, I would think, back on my home track at Warden Law. So we haven't got the pleasure of their company. Their qualifying went like this, of course, just to remind everybody. Time qualifying at JJ Plowman, the ST Racing driver, on the pole position with a 48.933, a 48.950. Max Gilman, championship leader, is alongside. Jensen Sale and JJ Lowe are on row 2. Jensen Walker and Fraser Anderson are on row 3. And then we've got Rio Wadali and Sandro Kemp on row 4, with Jack Moss from the True Performance Motorsport team rounding off the 9-cart field. Now then, where is George Ralston, who is on the entry list with ambition, but is not here? Max Gilman down as a privateer. JJ Plowman with ST Racing. Jensen Seal. Jensen Seal was with TW Racing. JJ Lowe, the number 148, is not given, but we might be able to tell who he's with by his livery. Jensen Walker is, again, no information given as to which team he's with. The number 161, Fraser Anderson, is a privateer. Number 121, Rio Wadali, no information as to who he's with. Sandro Kemp, the number 117, is a privateer. And Jack Moss, as I said, is with True Performance Motorsport. Don't forget, when you put your entries in, don't forget to put which team you're with or whether or not you're a privateer. Yes. If you're not with a team, put privateer, because you get a big round of applause being a privateer going up against these strong kart teams.
I was a privateer, back of a Ford Mondeo.
Is that it?
What else am I going to say? It's back. I wasn't in the awning.
I thought you were going to tell us some
if it rained, I got wet. If it rained, I got wet.
What's the Ford Mondeo got to do with anything?
Got it in a van.
You're going to tell us you had a roof rack next?
No, just posted it, took the front wheels off and posted it into the Ford Mondeo. The rear wheels were out the outside. You just roped down the tailgate.
Oh, so you had the tailgate up?
Actually, I just realised it's not Mondeo, it was a Sierra. Is that how long ago it was? It was Ford Sierra.
Here we go then. Intermax 950s coming up next, and we're about to go racing. The red light is out, and we are racing towards the chicane for the first time.
Poor run for the guy in second. He's dropped right back, losing out a couple of positions.
JJ Plowman is the leader. The number 140 of Jensen Sale hangs on to his rear bumper, though. And it's the Thule Motorsport driver behind him. The number 153 is that?
It's 171 leading, but it's 140 that's got straight through. That's Jensen Sale, who was the king of the gesticulation in the first heat. He was waving at everybody. I've seen less waving by the royal family at Tripping the Colour than we saw from
JJ Plowman. Nick just locked his rear end and went sailing into that Iredale hairpin.
Never a good day when you lock your rear end.
By the time they've got back to sunny, JJ Plowman is back into the lead, and he's put Jensen Sale behind him. this field of only 9 karts. We only need 2 to make a race. We've got 9, so it's going to be a cracker. And they're already through. JJ Plowman, Jensen Sale, Max Gilman, Jensen Walker, JJ Lowe, Fraser Anderson, Rio Wardali. There's a move for second, is it?
Yeah, Gilman gets up the inside of Sale.
That's the gesticulate. Right, you love them, don't you? So Max Gilman, who is down as a privateer, he is down as a privateer here, but he's in Thule Motorsport overalls, and he may not be here with Thule Motorsport, but he might race with them elsewhere. But certainly he's here as a privateer.
He's a privateer, but, also races with the team and can phone someone up and ask them how to set the cars up.
Well, he's chasing the leader down, JJ Plowman now, I think, being caught. We had a little bit of a trip over. Max Gilman just beginning to get his head down and focus on the rear bumper of that ST Racing kart of JJ Plowman, who was doing a great job there, just holding fort at the front of this field. Jensen Seal, he's hanging on to these leaders as well as they come through Iredales. The 3 of them will accelerate onto the back straight, heading down towards the stewardesses, which is a sweeping right-hander, almost 180 degrees, and then into the S's there. It's a left, right. That's the right-hand bit there. That's all the stewardesses there, and then into St John's, then into Sunny. And look at this, Max Gilman down the inside of JJ Plowman in textbook style. Plowman trying to come back at him, and it's almost side by side across the line. Plowman has to slot back in before they get to the chicane, and up and over the brow of ROWRAH. They've gone out and already down to the McRae's hairpin, and Jensen Sale challenging the rear end of JJ Plowman as they get towards and out of the hairpin now. Another hairpin, this time a right-hander coming up. And as they turn in, the Max Gilman blue and white livery. There was the move for the lead.
Nice one.
Absolutely on the limit, on the edge of everything.
By the way, if you're at the track at the moment and you have access to a tea urn, Dan would like a cup of tea.
Is that what you've come up here for? Remember where this is the driver's lounge, Dan. You are an official.
So yeah, if you have a flask,
if you give us 5 minutes. Do you want coffee? No coffee, because I can put a pot on. Dan Ashton. Is Dan the clerk of the course?
He is. He's everything, but he hasn't got a cup of tea.
Needs a cup of tea. He's come up. The driver's lounge.
And he didn't know it was cash only either. So these days, because apparently the machine's broken.
Back to the race. The driver's lounge catering is closed for the day. Chance to make money has gone. Why would it be open at 4 o'clock in the afternoon?
Yeah, well, because they've decided that they're going to depart from Barcelona rather than Miami this time.
Gilman has not broken away from Plowman, who likewise has not broken away from Seal. These 3 have been the dominant drivers in this Intermax class as they go through the paddock turn. And it will be 5 laps completed, just under 3 minutes remaining. And you know what, Nick? I can't see, as much as Plowman is hanging on to Gilman and Seal likewise hanging on to Plowman, I'm not sure either of these 2 drivers have anything in that toolkit to have a go at Gilman.
No, Gilman's looking quite relaxed, even though he's only got a 3 or 4 tenth second lead. But he's looking over his shoulder. Not sure there's going to be enough momentum for the traditional dive up the inside. It's just that kart length out of reach from a throw it down the inside from JJ Plowman or a banzai from Jensen Sale. But, it's close now. He's going to have to be careful as he turns right in about 1 second's time. But he's gone tight rather than the racing line up the inside. It's gone off.
Plowman, Sale went down his inside there. They're coming together and he spun, and that has spun JJ Plowman around through 180, went up in the air, had nothing to do with that whatsoever, and was a bit of a victim of circumstance there, was JJ Plowman. The driver trying to rejoin, he does get things going again, and the good news is that JJ Plowman will continue. He was just off at the side there, wasn't he?
It was 6-1.
Well, we're not getting involved in...
I'm not sure what's going to be the decision by any clerk of the course. It was a racing incident, but whether there is blame to be apportioned, we don't know.
Let's see how this pans out. Then that has left Max Gilman in the lead more so. He had JJ Plowman and Jensen Sale glued to his rear bumper going into the final stages of this second and final heat for the Intermax 950 class. It's now given Max Gilman a bit of a cushion there. Behind these two, JJ Lowe now up into third, Jensen Walker fourth, Fraser Anderson through in fifth, Rio Wadali sixth, Sandro Kemp, JJ Plowman recovers to an eighth place. He'll not be happy with that. And Jack Moss for True Performance Motorsport rounds off the 9-kart field, just dropping off the back of Plowman there, dropping off the back of the field somewhat. That's the number 122 of Jensen Walker and Fraser Anderson, who are having a right old tussle for fifth and sixth. The number 122, is that 120? Yes, it is. And the 161, Jensen Walker, fourth and fifth, not fifth and sixth, fourth and fifth.
Fourth and fifth, yeah, just behind the Max and Jensens, the JJs. They're going to look into the sweep up through ROWRAH.
And they'll get one more lap after this as well.
Whatever it's called.
ROWRAH.
Whatever Gaz called
Gaz
it.
Bury named the chicane ROWRAH because of the undulation.
Because he's never been to Eau Rouge, that's why.
I know, it's nothing like Eau Rouge, Gaz.
No.
You see that quarry, that cliff face?
That's closer.
That's Eau Rouge. Yeah. Here we go then. This is the fifth place battle, whilst Max Gilman...
It's fourth place, isn't it?
Sorry, fourth and fifth, yes. I'll get that right, yes.
Doesn't matter. I'm getting 11 things wrong to every one thing wrong. It's fine.
The leaders are all
1,
ready.
2, 3, all straight out. About to start the last lap.
Yeah, leaders. Last lap board for the leaders underneath the driver's lounge here. Meanwhile, as the three cross the line, Max Gilman, Jensen Sale, JJ Lowe, or Lowe I should say, Jensen Walker and Fraser Anderson. These are the two karts that we're watching now. And these two are having a right old ding-dong. Is he going to make the move? Can Fraser Anderson make a move down his inside? They're tripping over one another, aren't they? Or at least Fraser Anderson's tripping over Jensen Walker. Jensen Walker, though, not phased under pressure. Once again, a little bit of a nudge. He's going to have to be careful. He's about to give himself a nose penalty.
Not a nosebleed.
No, a nose penalty.
Yeah, he's leaning on the back of the cart ahead of him. 1, 2, 2. It's getting a bit battered and bruised at the rear end. But here come the leaders over the line now. Max Gilman will get the checkered flag, and there he is. No celebration. It's very cool for Gilman in 169. Second place, Jensen Sile in the 140. JJ Lowe in the 148 is third. And then this fourth and fifth battle, which is a long, long way behind the other. Jensen Walker got it by just over a tenth of a second with Fraser Anderson. Sandro Kemp comes through in sixth. Big thumbs up from someone there on the corner of the camera. Obviously, very, very fond of Sandro Kemp. Yep. Sandro Kemp. Yeah, I keep saying it. JJ Plowman got up to 7 despite being punched off the course 2 laps ago. And it looks like Rio Wardley had a problem on the last lap. And he just managed to stay ahead of Jack Moss. And those are your runners, finishers for the Intermax 950 Heat 2.
All right, everybody. We've got our Junior Rotax heat coming next, the second and final heat of the day. And with championship protagonist Kasper Tomilewski taking top honours in the first heat, ahead of Marcel Poppercool. Charlie Very was third, Braith Murdoch was fourth, Luke Sawyers, Jack Robinson, Riven Welsh, Riley Morgan. Addison Smith, current championship leader, was ninth. Leon Barlow rounded off the top 10 in heat number 1. And we will get a relook at the grid, of course. Junior Rotax qualifying, not exactly how they finished there. It was Lewis Sumner who took the pole position, and he will start once again on that pole position. The number 238. I've got the wrong grid in front of me.
Oh, for goodness sake.
I know, I just can't get the stuff.
I don't know why I bother. Really don't know why I bother.
The number 238 of Lewis Sumner is an ex-kart driver, of course. Marcel Poppercool from Cato Motorsport. We had a plethora of Cato Motorsport. There was 4 of them at least. What the
collective noun for a Cato Motorsport is?
A clutch of Cato Motorsport.
Possibly.
I need a bigger bottle.
Showing off now. Mm-hmm.
There they are, ready and waiting for the
just
being released.
Whether they actually hold them to the timetable.
Yeah, of course we do. This is an MS UK.
Oh, you can't get ahead of yourself.
No,
I quite like ahead of yourself. I see. That explains
You've made
everything.
a career out of getting ahead of yourself.
I have, it's true.
So there's Lewis Sumner there in the white helmet and the white overalls. That's the X-Kart team that he is with. Just to the right of him is the first of our Cato Motorsport, the KMS team, well represented. Marcel Popocool, Kasper Tomilewski, who is on the number 220. Kasper is also a KMS driver. So a little bit of inter-team rivalry going on in Junior Rotax, no question about that. And we see a different attitude, don't we, really, Nick? When you see these youngsters out there in the heat of battle, they have a completely different attitude to somebody they've then, after the race, got to go back to the awning and sit with.
Yes. I assume they're doing it every week, so they kind of get to the point where they're going. I know you're an idiot, but fine.
There's a you know what I've seen so many times.
And who else they'll play Mario Kart with?
There's so many times you see parents of kids getting so het up after a race, and the parents having a little bit of a confrontation, and then the kids going off and playing football together. And just like sort of
much to the annoyance of the
getting
parents.
over it, just getting
Who
over it.
literally wanting to have a much bigger row about it.
Because at the intensity they leave on the track, quite frankly.
Leave your intensity on the track.
So Addison Smith starting down the order, isn't he, Addison Smith?
Yep.
He's starting in 14th. Now, he was the winner at Wilton Mill, was Addison Smith, on the number 215. He's down as a privateer. I believe, and I'm going to confirm this in the break, Addison is on the Venator racing engine. He took the win at Wilton Mill. He was 13th at round 2 at Glenagors, and he was 10th at round 3 at One Law. So after a great start with a maximum points haul in the superheats at Wilton, and a maximum points haul at round 2 as well, by the looks of it, didn't come to the fore in the final at both Glenagors and One Law. So he'll be wanting to perhaps maximise that. Kasper Tomilewski, second place podium position for Kasper at the first round at Wilton Mill. The second round at Glenagors, he took the win in the final, and he took a 7th place at One Law. James Kell, now where has James qualified? James has qualified in 12th place. He's third in the championship. Finished 7th in the final at round 1, took 2nd place at Glenagors at round 2, and then took the win at Warden Law. So he is the most recent winner in Junior Rotax. So all eyes on whether James Kell can really sort of maximise what has happened to him in time qualifying and finding himself down in 12th. He'll want to try and get up the order.
Yep. It's a very long hole. When
it is. I'm not sure what.
Is it a problem?
Yeah, I'm not sure whether I can't see a problem out on track. Got a bit of a breeze blowing up now.
That is true. It is.
Yeah, it's been it's quite warm though, isn't it? It's 18 degrees according to the weather forecast.
Well, you'll be out in it soon.
Certainly feels
you'll
it.
You'll be out doing your paddock walk.
Yeah, in
if
shorts.
there's anybody you'd like Joe to interview the paddock walk, send it in the chat, and I'll make it awkward for him by trying to find the particular person
I've
you're
got to
talking
find
to.
them in the paddock. If you can tell me where they're on the paddock, that would be very, very
so it's
useful.
Barry Smith. In the blogs awning,
yes,
he's the short one. Unfortunately, they're all short because they're all kids.
Well, I can just ask who Barry Briggs is. Do we have a Barry Briggs? Is that an actual message that you're reading there?
No, I'm not going to favour someone by using a real name. I'm making up a name.
So we are just waiting to get underway. I'm not really sure.
So basically, yes. At the end of this, you need to rush to your car to get the correct outfit.
Okay, I've got it in hand, Nick. You don't need to remind me.
You've forgotten it before.
No, I have not. Well, did I?
Yes.
No, did I?
Yes, you had to wear the coat because you had nothing on a hot day. Remember you had to wear a coat on a boiling hot day because you forgot the actual other outfit.
No, that was another championship.
No, it's not a championship, yes, but it's still the same concept, isn't it?
All right, okay.
I'm not saying a particular the Kart Championship muck-up. I'm saying a general, you're doing a paddock walk.
All right.
Why are you wearing a coat on a day when it's 28? Well...
It's got branding on it. It's the only thing with branding. We have finally got the Junior Rotax karts released onto the track, and Lewis Sumner it is that will lead the field round. Marcel Popocool, of course, from KMS will start alongside the X-Carter. X-Kart being the team, that is.
Not someone who's given up karting.
Not the X-Kart, the X-Kart team. 28 karts have qualified for this one. 28 karts have ended for this one.
Very splayed out. They're not going to get this done in one lap.
No, we've got the...
There's a kart catching up to the back at 80 miles an hour.
That's the problem. We've got karts just coming out the stewardesses. Got karts just going into the stewardesses, actually.
They've already got the green and...
they've got the... they're not going to get underway. They are too strung out. But you know what? That's sometimes beneficial on a safety issue. We've got another lap of harsh driving, a little bit of nonchalant weaving to get some heat into the tyres, certainly into the brakes. It makes the karts much more stable on the brakes when you go for the brake pedal. What I liked,
they turned around the corner, they all gave it something. Oh. It's like, oh, okay. Go around again.
Yeah, a little bit of waving going on from Poppicle just to get some heat generated.
I think it's like accurate indication of how much that improves the temperature.
Massively. You are creating surface heat.
Not core heat, though.
Core heat takes a lot. In car racing, you can create core heat in the tyre carcass from using the brakes, because then the heat from the brakes transfers through the wheel. However, the brake disc on a kart is not attached to the wheel. It's attached to the rear axle.
Even at the front end.
It's not, and there's none on the front end. So you basically, you turn the steering harder, you get the front end sliding. That'll get the heat into the tyre, and eventually the heat will start breaking into the carcass. You've got to be very, very careful, though, because these karts feel like they're on ice on cold tyres. Now we've got a very slow pace being adopted by our front row drivers. And still a little bit of waving going on, just the last few minutes of heat, optimising that. Here we go then. Lewis Sumner, Marcel Poppicle.
Building, floor it.
And now
they shouldn't do, but they will.
Now we get released and into the chicane for the first time. Up and over the brow. It looks very chaotic, doesn't it? But they're all through without incident and off towards McRae's hairpin for the first time.
Someone gets through, and then there's an orange army of the X karts and the KMS karts. It's like it's like playing the Netherlands, isn't it? It's just so orange.
OST Racing breaking up the orange army there a little bit with the number 237 of Charlie Berry.
What he did last time, isn't it?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he got in amongst the KMS party.
He got in amongst the Netherlands.
It's X-Kart that's leading, though. Lewis Sumner towards St John's, the right-hander, the downhill sweep towards that great site there, iconic site here at ROWRAH. And then off towards the paddock turn. They'll come underneath us in the driver's lounge now. We're just to the right of that picture there. As they come underneath us and head off towards lap number 2. It's Sumner, Poppicle, Tomilewski, Luke Sawyers, Charlie Very, Riven Welch, Braith Murdoch, Jack Robinson, Riley Morgan. It's Emily Cooper rounding off the top 10 there just at the back of that train. But this is allowing Lewis Sumner to break free.
Yeah, there's been a change. Tomilewski's got past. So Tomilewski now into second. He's past his teammate Poppicle.
Tomilewski will close the gap. We saw this in Heat 1. We saw him do exactly this in Heat 1. He breaks free, takes his time, waits for the tyres to come in. And then when he's got those optimised, he knows what kart's underneath him. And then he starts breaking down that lead. And just look at that. The lead's broken down already. Already onto the rear bumper of Sumner as they complete 2 laps on towards the chicane and through that field. Just look at a fantastic sight there over the brow there, isn't it?
Yeah, you've chosen a good camera position.
I have.
That was Joe's choice of camera position, everybody. We've moved my traditional camera position, this new one that Joe said was going to be great, and it's turned out to be great, so he's chuffed. It's so good that Ash now wants to make our moving camera in that position tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
Wow.
Well, it's up to Les.
So I get another choice of where I put that camera.
No, that'll be there.
Okay. Here we go then. Under pressure is Sumner. Kasper Tomilewski. He's not challenging hard, though, or is he? Down the inside for the lead. I was about to say he hasn't had a go for it. We've got the Battenberg flag out, which is basically, in car racing terms, the virtual safety car.
Now, why is it out?
The leader takes up the role of controlling the pace, half racing speed.
Yeah, and there's a car off here you can't quite see it in the frame, but on the left-hand side of the frame, there's a car off and being sorted out. As you can see, the car is on the barriers. The driver is obviously absolutely fine. They're probably absolutely livid as well.
Well, they need the cart off the barriers in case you can't go past there at racing speed. Now we clear that to behind the barriers, and that will now give the track a safe condition.
Once he gets off the barrier, the driver.
So the Battenberg flag will fly, and then we will go green as they come back towards us. I think we've got that obstruction cleared. So discretion always been the better course of valour here. This is a kids' championship, the Kart Championship. The oldest group is up to 16, and so we will always be discreet. So not discreet. We'll always show discretion over safety decisions like that, and it's bunched the field back up. And Sumner now, who had very little gap to Tomaszewski, but Tomaszewski had a bit of a cushion to his teammate Marcel Popical. That's disappeared, Nick.
Yep. So they're going to go, and they've got the green, as you would hear if you were listening on the radio of a NASCAR or an IndyCar race. And they are flying up over Row Rouge, but it'd be interesting to see what the gaps. You're quite right. It's kind of it's more disadvantaged that people from third down over. But Tomaszewski now has to rejoin his battle to try and rip the victory from Lewis Sumner.
Sumner leads out of Iredale's and heads down towards the stewardesses. He looks comfortable, but Tomaszewski will. Once again, he was about to challenge when that Battenberg come out, didn't he? He, in fact, showed that he was in the lead across the line, but he had to give up the position. Here he comes back onto the tail of Sumner towards the final turn. It'll be 5 laps completed, just under 2.5 minutes remaining.
He's got a lot of pace onto that right-hander. Suddenly he gains 2/3 of a length on Sumner. Well, this was slightly over-braking, or was wondering whether he wasn't everything back up to full temperature again. I'm not quite sure. But in fact, no, Sumner I think has been slow this lap. He's still in the lead, so it's fine. But I don't think he's had a blistering pace. Looking at the way the pack's kind of constantly back behind him.
He may have monitored where the pace started dropping off for him, and he may have had a slight adjustment with his mechanic regarding setup and when the kart comes in and when the kart, the tyres may have overheated from the pressure, and now they've tried a different pressure, and it's a little bit better going into the final 90 seconds of this second and final heat for the junior Rotax. Tomaszewski's not that far away though.
No.
But Sumner is able to perhaps defend a little bit better.
It's looking good so far, but I think, this is where... Now, this is quite good because Tomaszewski's hung him out to dry as well.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, he's caught himself out on the left-hand side, and suddenly got 4 karts involved. In there again, Charlie Very. That's the obvious one because he's blue and green. Then we've got the 3 XMS karts.
KMS.
Is it KMS?
Yes.
I can't remember that. KMS karts. Well, they should have seats lower so I can read the K rather than the X.
There's Popical, I think, just gone round the outside of Tomaszewski.
Is it?
Or is that Tomaszewski come through?
No, Tomaszewski.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
So Tomaszewski's still in second.
Popical tried to go around. Luke Sawyers is ahead of... In fact, there's a couple of cards gone through.
Very's had a problem and dropped back 4 or 5 places.
He's been mugged, hasn't he?
3 or 4 of the ever-flying KMS. I think that's a little bit too much curb on the left-hand side as we saw it.
We've had a few changes there, Nick. Sumner, Tomaszewski, Sawyers, Popical, Welch, Murdoch, Very, down to 7th there.
So Popical's a big loser out of that one.
It's going to be last lap board as well next time through. As Sumner looking very composed in the lead, but Tomaszewski...
That's the slower way. He's 100% defensive now, Sumner.
Yeah,
that was the problem he's got is I think Tomaszewski's got a little bit more pace. There's the sweeping around the outside he's not going to do. The sweeping around the inside he's not going to do. But what do you do here? We have to turn right at some point here.
Yeah, Sumner's going to defend though, isn't he? And Tomaszewski hasn't got a way through, and if he's not careful, Luke Sawyers.
Oh, look at that.
Luke Sawyers, his teammate's going to come through. They've nudged each other. This is going to be a tricky conversation in the awning after this one. This is the final time into the McRae's hairpin.
Yeah, and that wobble cost him a chance to go for it.
And
he lost him about a third or half a kart length, and that was it.
And this is allowing Sumner to defend into McRae's and Iredale's. He'll defend again into Stewart's. Down the inside, Tomaszewski just hasn't got any space. He's going to have to break out the tin opener to make himself a gap. And he's lost out there because he was not on the optimum line. Luke Sawyers is coming back at him. Sawyers at his teammate Tomaszewski, and if Tomaszewski's not careful, He's going to have to defend as Sumner comes through to take the heat win in a fine style, and Tomaszewski has to defend harshly. He defended harshly there.
Yeah, they'll have a chat. They can have a full and frank discussion about that.
Yes, they
It seemed
can.
quite fair to me, but I don't think it helped either of them. Certainly didn't help Tomaszewski. I think at that point that Sawyers was third, and that was great.
Charlie Very back up from 7th to 4th on those final 2 laps, or final lap and a half, actually.
Fastest lap.
Yeah, he dropped back, and then he really did pull it all out.
Interesting, it was a 46.576 compared to the 46.628 of Bella Fair Club, so it wasn't quite as big a gap as Gaz said in the first round.
Yeah, good point.
Comparing like for like, just 10 to a second.
So he's the rundown. He's your top 10. The rest of the field are there, the 27 kart field. Sumner takes a very, very strong win under massive pressure there from Kasper Tomaszewski. Luke Sawyers was third, grid battle all the way to the flag. Charlie Very regained his composure to fourth. Brith Murdoch was fifth. Sixth was Riven Welch. Leon Boller was seventh. James Kell eighth. Jack Robinson was ninth, and it was Callum Gauche who finished in 10th. Addison Smith, our championship leader, was nowhere down the order from what I can see, Nick.
Wasn't even in the race.
I can't see him there.
Who?
Addison Smith.
It must have been. It must.
He wasn't. He didn't take part.
Oh, okay.
How bizarre.
Da, 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 da.
Whoops! I have no idea where I did that.
You're analysing James Kell's individual laps.
Oh my goodness! Talk amongst yourselves.
Joe's been outwitted by the computer again.
Not a high benchmark. We're back.
It's
We're
not
back
bad.
in the room.
We're back in the room. Who's next?
Right then, that's the heats today sorted out for junior rotax.
Is it Bambino now, is
I
it?
think we might just be going to the C50.
Mighty Ease,
Not
is
C50s, the Might E's. We are
Mighty
indeed.
Ease.
We have got 2 more heats to go. So Mighty Bambinos, their second heat coming up. And then we've got the final heat of the afternoon, which will be for Intermax. For now, though, it's the Mighty Bambinos. And heat number 1, which again, the computer's just outwitted me again, Nick.
Really?
Yes, it has. Mighty Bambinos.
Seems to be an uneven contest, Joe.
Ralph Martin. I'm back in the room. Ralph Martin. Oh, what have I done there? Ralph Martin took the first heat win from Henry Hills. Third place was Heath Smith. Oliver Woodall was fourth. Jensen James Williams was fifth. Felix Tandy was sixth. Then we had junior right Alfie Hennell, Maximilian Mikalski, and it was Jack Harper who finished 10th. Just outside the top 10 was Kai Ergensoy, Eddie Gardner, Nico Mohan, and then the Ollie Upton from Team Upton was 14th. Qualifying, slightly different look at that. And we'll have a look at the grid for the Mighty Bambinos, who are there, as you can see. Mighty Bambinos qualifying. So Ralph Martin. That's the green and black cart there of Ralph Martin that you can see. He posted the quickest time of 1 minute 4.005. Second up was Henry Hills. That's the cart to the right of him there. Henry just tapping his, I think it's his right foot. Henry was second on the grid. Second row of the grid will be Jensen James Williams and Felix Tandy. I would like to think that Nick is listening in or watching in from Watkins Glen.
Well, we should tell us if he is on Facebook or on something else. Yeah. Don't know. By the time because it's about 20 to 10 now. 20 to,
yeah, he might be able to catch this one.
Well, he might be having a practice or something.
That's true. Might be at work.
A WeatherTech practice session.
Yeah, might be at work. Third row of the grid is Heath Smith and Oliver Woodall. Fourth row is Junior Wright and Jack Harper. Fifth row is Alfie Hennell and Maximilian Mikalski. Sixth row is Freddie Dye and Arthur Rhodes. Seventh row is Arthur Thompson and Kai Ergensoy. It's Summer Upton sharing row 8 with Nico Mohan. Ollie Upton is sharing row 9 with Eddie Gardner. And then row 10, Kirshen Doshi, Frank Pearson. Hugo Williams and Arthur Bath are on row 11. And then rounding off the 23 cart field is Hadley Jarvis. So we've released our Mighty Bambinos. You can't hear them because they are pretty quiet. These electric powered carts. They are exactly the same chassis and tyre as we saw the petrol engine versions go out earlier and give us some fantastic racing. The racing will be exactly the same insofar as we've got
It'll be electrifying.
It'll be... I like that, Nick.
Thank you.
Can I use that?
Yeah, I've been working that for a while. I'm trying to work it up into a full half-hour sitcom.
You've been waiting till the last round to say that one, haven't you?
Well, yeah, what can I say?
So, again, there's a need for getting some heat into those tyres, of course, and a little bit of heat into the brakes as well. So you'll see the drivers, they're on a treaded tyre. The LeConte tyre is an all-weather tyre. We don't want the complexity for these youngsters who are between the ages of 6 and 7. Yes, that's what I said, 6 and 7. If you're new to karting, on the Karting Live TV live stream, if this is your first time of viewing our kart racing coverage,
hello,
then these are 6 to 8-year-olds. And what we don't want is for them to be out on slick tyres if it rains, because then karts on slick tyres, as our race cars on slick tyres in the wet, become almost undrivable and become very dangerous, certainly for these age groups. So we put them on an all-weather tyre, which are basically treaded. They're a very robust tyre, and if it rains, then there's not much not much concern. Yes, the track is still a lot more slippery and not as grippy, but it doesn't have them aquaplaning off out of control.
The question is, obviously, with these kids, is what percentage of their entire size is their helmet? Like they're about 20% helmets, aren't they?
Yeah, about 20%. Yeah, yeah, look like little Jim Bamba cartoons. They've got to be a certain age.
I think Ralph Martin's quite up for this.
Yeah, little Ralph Martin is absolutely itching to get away on this, isn't he? The red light is on. The red light goes off, and we are racing, and these karts fire off the line
Tandy
in ready start. Tandy, there's Felix Tandy, but it's Henry Hales on the number 67 who has gotten into the lead through the chicane for the first time.
Yeah, easy start there. Just got the jump. All these karts are identical as far as gearing and power is concerned, so there's no actual difference. There should be no actual difference in how they get off the line. Same tyres, same gearing, same power. And they turn round through Airedale for the first time, but it's a nice little lead for Henry Hales, holding off Ralph Martin and Felix Tandy.
Yeah, Ralph Martin, we saw how raring to go young Ralphie was, and he's itching to go, and he'll not be happy. Henry Hales has taken that lead from him. Felix Tandy just dropping off the tail end of these two there, isn't he?
Don't forget, these two were a lot faster than the rest of the field last time round. It was like a second between these two and the rest of the field. They absolutely were.
And don't forget that Ralph Martin, our current championship leader, he's the winner. He's never been off the podium in all 3 rounds so far. That's the kart in second. Henry Hales has had a 6th, a 4th and a 4th. So good championship points hauls for him. But Ralph Martin, who was the winner at round 1, 3rd at round 2 and 2nd at Wardenlaw in round 3, he's in the green kart there. The orange and blue kart, that's Henry Hales. And Henry, who will be just getting his head down there towards the stewardesses. I think he'll be aware that Ralph Martin is with him. Behind them two, there's another 2 there fighting it out, and I think that's still Felix Tandy and Smith.
I mean, the question really is last time they were being dropped by about 1.1 to 1.2 seconds a lap. This time it appears they're being dropped by less, but still being dropped. Well, these two are scrapping as well.
Heath Smith, don't forget, was the winner at Wardenlaw. He was
changed for 3rd and 4th. Up the inside has gone Heath Smith and Felix Tandy. You'll see that in the background there.
Yes, yeah, that's good move there.
And they gained another second, almost.
Still Henry Hales leads through the chicane. Ralph Martin looks like he's just waiting for a mistake. He's waiting for Henry Hales to miss his braking point, slide too wide, leave a gap. Haven't quite got the momentum or the extra power or extra speed to make a move, so they stay in each other's wheel tracks. And it's as if Ralph Martin understands as well the need at this stage of the 7-minute heat to just stay there and not show that his cards too quickly.
Yeah, they're breaking away from the others quite easily.
Very
got a slight problem there for one of the cars. I think that's unfortunate. That might be Arthur who had the problems in the first heat, Arthur Rhodes.
Arthur Bath, was it?
No, it's Arthur Rhodes who had the problem in the first heat.
Well, he's a challenge side by side through St John's.
Well held back there by Henry Hales.
Henry Hale's just staying composed, didn't he? He didn't fret, and he's driving defensive now down the inside.
Yeah, Martin's trying the round the outside. His Buffalo Girls, and it was not worked.
Well, Ralph Martin becoming a little bit impatient about coming second. As behind them, Heath Smith still in third, Felix Tandy fourth, Jensen James Williams is next in fifth, then Jack Harper, Oliver Woodall Jr., Wright Maximilian Mikalski, and Freddie Dye, the novice, in 10th place.
Yeah, and coming back now, it's very much a case where Martin is now really, really looking for a way through. I'm not sure if there is one, to be honest, at the moment.
No, he's not. There are places on this track that Ralph Martin looks like he's got pace, but Henry Hales is driving impeccably well.
Yeah, and certainly on the defensive line.
Yeah, on the defensive line.
But it's not costing them because they've still got more, as the same pace or slightly more than Heath Smith and Felix Tandy. Smith has got a 3 or 4 tenth of a second advantage over Tandy now, so that's probably going to break them two up. They're looking out the window right now. I can see that Tandy isn't too far behind. Much closer in first and second. And again, Martin looking for a line. He's going to give him a chance to get past. No, you haven't got the momentum. You haven't got the ability to drive because the carts have a certain maximum amount of power and a certain maximum amount of speed. And you just don't get that chance to get a run up and through. Now he's got a chance to pop out from the inside. Is he going to go for it? No, can't.
Yeah, you know what? This is a great drive from both of these. Ralph Martin on the green cart there, just looking for a way by, and yet Henry Hales is just making it so hard for him, just by keeping the momentum up. But he's driving the defensive line, but it's not really disadvantaging him massively.
No, I mean it's interesting there.
It's going to go all the way at the flag, Nick.
Coming back through Airedales, he moved back out of the ideal line and just guessed that Ralph wouldn't be there, which is fair enough. Now, Ralph's got a good run up here again. He's looked fast running from this exit from the Stewart system, but I think he's always got a really good chance now. It depends on Hales to back out of that one.
Yeah.
Just got the run, suddenly the drive out of the Stewart S's, and Hales had no excuse or no chance not to let him through that time.
He knew he had to put himself on the ideal inside line because Henry Hales was kind of monopolising the inside line pretty much everywhere, so that was really intelligent driving there from Ralph Martin. Been really intelligent driving from Henry Hales, to be honest, because he's been driving really well to keep Ralph Martin behind him. However, now let's see what Henry Hales can do. We're inside of 90 seconds to the flag, so we're not that far off. These carts are lapping in the 64 seconds, so we are probably 2 more laps when these carts get to the flag. And Ralph Martin, if anything, he's pulled a cushion. He's got perhaps the biggest gap we've seen since this race got underway. There's about a cart's length between these two now for first and second. And Ralph Martin was waiting his time. He kind of studied where Henry Hales was quicker. And out of the stewardesses, right at that point there is where Ralph Martin made it happen. And if anything, Ralph Martin's got a little bit of pace to break away.
Yeah, now he's got a head. You kind of feel he's going to stay there. Famous last words, obviously. Up the inside from Hales. He's going to go through Row Rouge, but I don't think he's going to have a chance unless he can pull an absolutely superb amount of momentum through that right-left. But no, you see, he isn't looking like he's creeping towards to throw one up the inside now. He was just dropping off slightly.
Tandy back ahead of Heath Smith. We should maybe need to drop back to the raging battle for third and fourth, Nick. And as we let these two go through, we just wait to pick up the third and fourth battle. Here it is there. So the blue and yellow cart, that's Felix Tandy. The orange bumpered cart there of Heath Smith, winner at Warden Law, as Tandy defends. Again, the intelligence of these youngsters just blows my mind. They understand what defensive driving means.
They certainly do.
How to block, sort of discreetly block, not without any sort of overt, sort of overly aggressive driving. And there's a coming. And as I say that, Heath Smith perhaps didn't have enough to be alongside Felix Tandy, and Felix was completely unaware that he was there. He's not aware that he was there, and Heath Smith coming a bit sort of
looks worse.
Bit ambitious
because he went over the curbs. It looks worse. I think no harm, no foul to either the carts or the lads, to be honest.
Well, it hasn't put them off. Look at that. They're still flat out through the chicane, off towards the McRae hairpin, and look at that, Felix Tandy, defensive driving there.
Over
Heath
under.
Smith, yeah.
No.
Again down the inside, Felix Tandy will stay there. I wonder if his dad's been having a word and doing some driver coaching.
He seems very low-key, which means he's not.
I doubt it. He would have been telling him exactly what to do.
Yeah.
Been going over the footage from the previous races.
Are a dyed-in-the-wool racing family, of course. Joe Tandy, Felix's uncle, unfortunately passed a few years ago, was also a top-class racer. And, of course, they started on the ovals, didn't they? Short ovals.
Yeah, they did. Mini stocks. The leaders are already into the final turn. And it nose to tail, but it looks like Ralph Martin's going to hang on to it as these two come together.
Shoved him off.
Let's have another look at that if we can, Ash. That was not really. No, that's not cricket, I'm afraid, from Heath Smith. And
probably not that one, I think.
We'll see how that one pans out when the results are finalised. But on the road, Ralph Martin takes the win. Henry Hill second, Heath Smith third. Felix Tandy 4th, Junior Wright 5th, Jensen James Williams 6th. And then we had Jack Walker, Oliver Woodall, Maximilian Mikalski, Freddie Dye, Alfie Hennell, Arthur Thompson, Ollie Upton, Kirshen Doshi, Nico Mohan, Kai Ergensoy, Etienne Gardner, Frank Pearson, Hugo Williams, Arthur Bath, Hadley Jarvis, Arthur Rhodes, and Summer Upton found themselves at the back of this 23 kart field. Final heat of the day coming up next for us, and it is the Micromax class that we see out next. Their first heat that we saw earlier. Alfie Mayer, remember? Vaguely. Alfie Mayer from the Zipcart Junior team took the win from Logan Rolfe, the Synergy driver. Finished just 2/10 behind Alfie Mayer. Lewis Kirkcaldy was third, and then we saw Chloe McGill, the Jack's Motorsport driver, coming through to fourth. Jack Mellon, Benedictus Masiokis making his way from the back of the field after some sort of technical infringement in qualifying. He finished sixth, just ahead of Freddie Blackshaw. Freddie just off his novice plates now. His dad, Will, no stranger to karting over the years. And then we had Albie J. Stubbs finishing in 8th place. Jamie Walsh was next up. Ruben Sagu rounded off the top 10. Micromax qualifying. Slightly different look to the grid positions considering the result from the first heat. Lewis Kirkcaldy will start on the pole position with Buddy Hugo. Buddy Hugo starting alongside. Second row is Alfie Mayer and Logan Rolfe. Third row is Jack Mellon and Chloe McGill. Carter Jackson and Ruben Sagu are on row 4. Row 5 is Xavier Ramsey and Freddie Blackshaw. Row 6 is Lewis Herbertson and Jimmy Walsh. Travis Giddings and Jensen Darlow are on row 7. Row 8 is Victor Poppercool and Ronnie Faulkner. Zach Andrew starts in 17th. Albie J. Stubbs starts 18th after his time was deleted from qualifying, as does Benedictus Masiokis, who will start at the very back. So keep an eye out for Benedictus making his way through the field as he did in Heat 1. You have a little snooze there?
No, I was waiting for you. I left the pause. And then you did I thought,
have a little snooze? You dropped off there, didn't you?
Not, absolutely not. No, I was looking at my phone. I was being a teenager and looking at the phone.
Okay.
Oh, no, some more disappointing customers.
Yes, the driver's lounge seems to be closed for business at the moment.
Dear. And the final heat of the day trundles down the hill from the collecting area. There's a disappointed young lady realised she's not going to go to a Snickers bar or a Twix or a hat or whatever she wanted to buy.
Hat?
Oh, yeah, no, it could be anything. It could be a Coca-Cola, couldn't it?
It could be a hat, though, is it?
They've not got any teamwear you can buy.
No.
Oh, well, that's a bit difficult.
It's a driver's lounge.
You can say the driver's lounge.
It's like the driver's lounge.
Making out like the BRDC.
Live from the ROWRAH
like
drivers.
The BRDC.
The driver's lounge here at ROWRAH.
I was spending a lot of time with the most recent BRDC member last week.
Yes, we all were, weren't we? Yeah, I haven't told you about that.
Yes, you have.
Have I?
Yes, you told me
I need
that.
to talk a bit more.
Oh, it's more, is there?
Oh, yes.
Oh, fantastic. It's more than the thing you told me on Tuesday.
Just a little bit of an add-on.
Excellent.
Here we go then, Micromax, to round off the day's proceedings. We reconvene after this one. I'll remind you, after we've seen the checkered flag, just when we restart tomorrow. More superheats and, of course, the all-important finals coming tomorrow in full and unadulterated live coverage.
High definition
from the Drivers' Lounge at ROWRAH from Karting Live TV. The penultimate round of the Kart Championship. Penultimate round of the Kart Championship. Going forward to the final round. It's only a month away. And then we'll crown our 2024 Kart Champions. Here we go then. It's Micromax getting underway with Lewis Cocotti and Buddy Hugo leading the field round, and the lights go out. And we get a false. I built that up too much, didn't I?
It's good though. He's really moving up the whole thing. Really
a false start flag. So the drivers get another go around. We get another chance to get some heat into our tyres, which is very, very good for these drivers. I used to hate cold tyres. You just don't know where to brake. You don't know where to brake.
Separates the talented from the also rounds, isn't it? Yes. I bet you Alan McNish knew when to stop on cold tyres.
I couldn't catch him, mate.
He's tiny, isn't he?
I tried to follow him through the chicane.
Tiny?
I went winging off.
Tiny?
He was tiny in those days.
He's not big
Still
now.
Is tiny.
I very briefly saw him on the grid at Le Mans. That's the only time I saw him. He was there for the Volderol.
I saw him in a very intense conversation with the Proton Porsche 963 driver Neil Jarney at the back of the pits.
They both worked together in the past, haven't they?
They did. They work at. Did they work at Porsche?
I think in the past they've worked together. Yeah. Don't know where they worked together.
Right then, here we go. Lewis Cocotti on the number 19. That's him there with the
orange
helmet.
If you've seen Alan McNish recently, please tell us more. No one's given no one suggested at all anyone you should go to a better look on the other page. But up to this point, no one has suggested somebody you should talk to. No, still no one says you should talk to.
Okay.
They have a very mute set of audience. They're not chatting away.
Here we go. Nicely brought around by Cocotti. Buddy Hugo on his left-hand side. They'll get underway this time, though, surely. The red light goes out. We are racing as they go towards the chicane. Turn right. Into the left. And it's very chaotic there with the kart over the curb on the inside. He looks behind him. That number 15 is Alfie Mayer, who's going down the inside and into the lead for a very...
he has. Fair enough then.
Massively fired out of a cannon, out of the McRae hairpin and into the lead of this Micromax race. Alfie Mayer, championship leader, down the inside, slides wide, lets it breathe, gets on the power and using all of the curb and more. And
back in the lead and stays in the lead after the first run through Stewart's with the yellow kart number 15, Alf Mayer from third on the grid, leading as they sweep now through Sunny from the 19 and 32. So it's Lewis Cocotti second and Logan Rolfe in third. So it's the 11 of Buddy Hugo, who's the big loser out that, dropping down to fourth position.
Here they come then. Across the line, all eyes on that lead battle there as first, second, third and fourth go through the ROWRAH chicane. Alfie Mayer, championship leader. Lewis Cocotti in second. And who is this? Logan Rolfe, the Synergy driver. He's got a distinct sort of floppy driving style. He sits back in the kart and he kind of just lets his body go with whatever the G-force is taking him. A really distinct laid-back driving style from the number 32. Just have a watch of that as they go through the stewardesses now and then head back towards the direction of the paddock. Downhill sweep through St John's, the right-hander. Keep off the curb. Then Sonny, the left-hander. These four breaking away then. It's Mayer, Cocotti, Rolfe and Hugo. It will be 2 laps completed and Alfie Mayer's not breaking away, is he, Nick?
Nope, he can't break it this time. And the four of them, including the two majority white karts of Rolfe and Hugo, who are also involved in this kind of battle in round one, are there or thereabouts. And they turn round and come back up towards...
There's a change for position at second. Into second has gone Logan Rolfe. I was kind of tittering to myself as Alfie Mayer was gesticulating to the drivers behind him, but there was no one behind him. He was kind of like, let's work together and just break a lead. But no. Logan Rolfe has a different attitude altogether.
Build a lead for me.
Yes.
From everyone else.
Yes.
That seems fair enough.
He's going to have to up the pace, though, because Logan Rolfe, the Synergy driver's got pace. He's got pace enough to get past Lewis Cocotti, and now he's broke the gap to Cocotti.
1, 2, 3, 4 across the line, all pretty equidistant, about 2 or 3 tenths apart. That will change over the course of this lap as they come into McRae's. A little bit too much curb, I think, taken there by our leader, but he's got away with it. And then now very sedately turn sharp left to the first of these two hairpins. Now it's the right-hand one. But are they supposed to be the same, left and right, as the two chicanes in down the Mulsanne Straight? It's supposed to be exactly the same, but just mirrors, even though the drivers said they're not the same.
They probably try to be the same, but they're not. They never are they?
No.
Here they come then, out of the stewardesses, flicking left, down the hill towards St John's. Looks over his shoulder, Alfie Mayer. He knows he's there. Logan Rolfe, he's going to be busy with Kikori and Hugo, though. They haven't dropped off at all now. And the concertina back up towards one another with 4 laps completed. 3.5 minutes remaining. There's Hugo down the inside of Kikori.
Oh.
Kikori has the line into ROWRAH, though, does he? And he absolutely gets mugged for the corner.
I think,
as Buddy Hugo takes third place in very forceful style.
I think Cody was a bit too nice there, to be honest. Hugo went wide, took a huge amount of curve, bounced back in again, and he almost seemed to spook Kirkcuddy into just lifting off for a picosecond.
We've got back markers coming into play ahead of them.
And there's a change for the lead.
Oh, and there's a change for the lead. I think the focus from Alfie Mayer was taken by that back marker. The back marker will try and keep out the way, but there down the inside has gone Logan Rolfe. Alfie Mayer's gone with him.
That marker's pulled in. He had a mechanical. He had a dropped. His rear bumper was broken.
Right, that's why he was going slowly. And there's the move.
Yeah, it's completely phased Alfie Mayer on that one.
Yeah, he was probably deciding what line to take through the stewardesses. However, Mayer coming back now. He's not letting Rolfe go away, but there's Buddy Hugo. Now on the rear bumper of Mayer. He's going to be synergied very soon.
Is that a new vowel, is it?
It's indeed. He's got one synergy driver that's past him, and here comes Buddy Hugo. He has been synergied. Yeah.
Well, the over and under might work. He might be able to get the place to stay in position, actually, Mayer. I think he's got the... Oh, I can't tell.
No, he hasn't. He hasn't got the momentum.
Or
has he? He hangs on to it. The Zipcart driver
kind of didn't give Hugo a choice there, and that's really helped Kirkcuddy, who was looking a bit lost, and now he's come back in again. It's a 3-way battle for second place, and Hugo really there isn't a place for 2 carts through there.
Side by side.
Kirkcuddy now will come and look with a chance to perhaps make a space up in the multicoloured cart, and he's just looking up the inside of Mayer, and Mayer's looking up the inside of Hugo, and Hugo's being moved out, and Mayer moves back into second place.
Mayer was trying to say to Hugo, let's not fight, let's chase
They're always
after.
trying to say that.
Yeah, but he was focused too much on that, and if he's very lucky not to have lost that position to Buddy Hugo, who's still there. In fact, he's ahead of him, but he hasn't got the line.
Is he going over and under him though?
No, he has not.
And do you know what? He got a little bit of a wobble on there, and therefore wasn't able to put the power down. But interestingly, looks like Kirkcuddy actually doesn't have the basic pace in this second race.
No, he doesn't.
He's
dropped off.
A little bit dropped off. You know, perhaps they've wrongly pressured the tyres. Perhaps it's just one of those situations. But he's certainly not looking anything like the driver he was in the first heat. Still doing okay. Obviously, fourth isn't the end of the world for Kirkcuddy, and it's obviously going to be a good starting position for the super heats tomorrow morning. We start at 9 o'clock, and we start at 9 o'clock as well. And they come over the line, first and second, right nailed together again through ROWRAH. Now, this is a chance for Hugo. If he wants to take the momentum, he can hop out. If this is the penultimate lap, looking about it, no, not happening. It's obviously a battle for second and third. It's not a battle for first and second. The leader, Logan Rolfe, away almost 2 seconds. Up the road, a little nudgette.
Yeah, nudgette. That's not quite a
11.
nudge, is it? A nudgette isn't quite a nudge.
It's like a nudge.
Yes, it's just a slight nudge.
It's like a...
Yeah, and he barely moved him out the way. Alfie Mayer's hung on to that second place. These two, though, having to contend with one another's advances, let's say, has allowed Logan Rolfe to just disappear. And Logan Rolfe has gone. He's done exactly what he did in Heat 1, hasn't he? He will start pole position for the Super Heat if his engine hangs out for one more lap. That's all he's got to hang out for.
Yep, coming now just round onto the last few corners. I mean, it is a long distance down to McRae's and a long distance back up to the final of the 2 hairpins. Ingerman's? Iredale's, sorry.
Iredale's, yeah.
Iredale's. But not quite sure if Hugo can take this one or not.
No, look at the way Alfie Mayer is
defended.
Defending almost on the mud, and there is Hugo trying to squeeze down the inside, not quite having the momentum to get alongside, and it looks like Alfie Mayer is going to hang on to second place, or is he? Because Hugo's going to come back at him now through the left-hander, across the curbing, into the right-hander at Paddock and Mayer. Have they had it coming together? No, they haven't. They clear it.
1, 2, 3, 4 in that order.
Wow.
Not overly sure about that result. He was like, hands to hand, but he's got it. And it's all really close behind them. So it's Logan Roll from Alfie Mayer, Buddy Hugo, Lewis Kirkcaldy, Carter Jackson, Chloe McGill, Albie J. Studs, Benedictus Masiokas, that's 8th. 9th, Jack Melton. 10th is Xavier Ramsey. Ruben Segot comes in 11th. Jamie Walsh, Freddie Blackshaw 13th. Is waiting for the rest of them to come through, including Walter Poppercool in 14th. And then we've got Andrew Herbertson, got Andrew on the last lap, and that is effectively the ones who've made the trip. Just going to see the 44. Travis Giddings is across the line. The other two long since disappeared, Jensen Darlow and Ronnie Faulkner. Okay, so that concludes, Joseph, our Saturday bonus coverage. We're back tomorrow at 9 o'clock with 2 rounds of Superheats, a lunchtime paddock show, and all the finals from ROWRAH. Just want to say thanks to Lester and Martin and Ash and you and everyone else, and we will see you back here tomorrow at 9 of the clock.